outside, nobody crashed.
Oh, we do have a little bit of an incident. Turn 1 with Emo Guy and Marty Road Racing.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I see. This is it's a big speed.
Turn 1 with Marty Road Racing.
But I see right now.
Results are all coming in right now.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Ratchet crashed. Who is at the start? I don't know who is at the front.
That would be Tom. Tom is the leader right now.
Yeah, because it's so short. Ratchet, it's ridiculous. Okay, now it's Tom at the first place. Behind, Guido behind, and then Bentley guy here.
Oh, Cam dropping back a lot.
Yeah. Sure. Zainal now over to Cam. Right with his teammate, okay. And he's struggling and speeding too much right now. The Nemo guy is at the end of the track right now. It looks like really close fight, and Cam is trying to get from outside in front of, but he was quite a little. And we will see who will be faster at the end of the corner at the exit. But it's really hard to overtake there. It looks like the other guy. Oh no, he did a mistake and he spun and May.
I know. Marty.
Yeah. It looks like it will be really close, and he's trying to get, but he will get probably many spots, and his tires will be destroyed. Marty is really struggling. Oh no, F1 is out of the track, and now they are going to the front. This is what I told about the pressures.
He's gonna try and go for it. It does look like he's braking so much later. Oh, he's gonna send it.
Yeah, he sent it. Oh, a little bit touch, but he can do it. But now he maybe tried from the outside, and it's like wheel by wheel. We will see who will be better exit, but on the inner side it will be Chris, and probably he did it with a really nice move. It looks really interesting. Now we can see how fast he is, and if he's hitting up this corner. Look at this. He is going to the front of the Mercedes like nothing. This is how we like it, this fight. And I did a mistake and he lost it. Now they are going much closer. And now Greenwood lost the position, and SD overtook him, and they are fighting for a P4 with a Bentley. What happened to Greenwood?
Oh, and SD12's gonna really send it. Oh,
yeah, he really tried it. Oh no, and he
Greenwood just goes by. He's gonna wait up for him. Try to let him butt.
For the tires, because they are going to change it, and you can see he's making every rubber dust because he's trying to defend, but he will now losing the grip because he was on the better line with the full of the small things on the ground for the tires, you know, and he will be struggling. Now it's Zainal behind him, and he did a mistake here, and he hit the wall. Oh no, that's really bad. But still he can't overtake him, and it's really interesting.
Trying to get a run on Sergey here. Sergey's gonna drag him all the way to the wall.
Oh, he's really fighting too much defending. But what they did, how is it possible killing after that big mistake? He's still in front of the Sergey, and it looks like Cam is much quicker right now with his tire, because he can probably manage it better, or his setup is better for the tires, so he can now get the advantage, but it's not the white flag here, so probably something happened to someone. And he's trying to do it from the outside. Oh, and he's now on the inside, and he can do it probably. I hope no touch here. And he did it much quicker in the corners, I think so. But
he's gonna have to run straight away. Greenwood didn't bring him down to the white line to the wall. He's gonna go down the inside on him.
Wow,
it's beautiful.
Yes, that right side in front. Oh, and it looks like now SD12 taking Cam, and they are fighting really close right now. And he's defending.
He's gonna go around the outside.
Yeah.
Inside. He gets it done.
Yeah, he really did it. Amazing move. No shame. Totally, and I want to see that fight with Cam too, because he is fighting with Rompu side by side right now. Whoa! And they are still side by side right now from the inside the Rompu, but he have no power for doing it. As SD12 did a really great move. Whoa. Because it's a better position, so yeah. Oh, and they spawn. No, Rompu hits the Cam and hit him again, and he's waiting for the position, but they are in the blind corner. Oh no, is right now, and I'm really waiting for the mistake from some driver here, and it should be really interesting if who will make a mistake.
Green light,
Who will crash and dive on another. And Chris now from the Sergey.
Sergey's probably gonna. Oh, he's looking. Cam just looks like he's just cruising by right now. Will Sergey on the brakes trying to defend it? Yeah, he's gonna try it.
Yeah, a little bit contact, but still nothing happened. But as you can see now, they are trying to be patient and don't send it everywhere, because it should be destructive for both of them, and they really know it. And Rompu can get a really good and easy position if they crash or do some really big mistake. And it looks like now they send it. Whoa! And now it's Sergey on the inside. He's fast enough? No, he don't. So Cam now get a really nice position.
Mistake on pit lane, just I mean, unless that's SD12 makes a massive mistake here, then it does look like he's setting P5 for now.
He's Rompu is so taking because I know, and now he did it. Wow, really? But
as long as everyone keeps their positions, then they're all just gonna finish exactly how the order stands, but anything can happen. It's not what we're talking about, so anything can happen. Yeah, just don't know yet.
Now is into the third sector. SOP Leon Sealy. He is the leader of this race, P1. He is getting to finish this hard race and probably totally destroy tires for everybody.
How you doing?
And he really deserves this position because he did really well this race, and he is now at the first
we can
position.
only have
really
two of us in the spectate screen. So if the Greek's
on second place now into the last corner, trying to go without any problems to the second place, and Chris Pisson got the penalty. Yeah, it's almost.
I mean, since I'm only doing like one of these races, I can just take the other one. Should probably make sense to do.
No problems for now. It looks like so close, a little bit wide, but it looks everything. It's alright. Nobody crashed.
I didn't realise there was so few people. Last week was quite a good turnout.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I see.
There's some kind of mix-up.
This is a big... it's a big spin. Yeah, it was spin too much. Okay, but at the front, how it looks right now.
Results are all coming in right now.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Ratchet crashed. Ratchet crashed, and who is at the start? I don't know who is at the front, because it looks...
that would be Tom.
Yeah,
is the lead right now.
Yeah, because it's not short. Ratchet, it's very close. Okay, now it's Tom at the first place, so Leon behind, Guido behind, and then Bentley behind here.
Oh, Cam dropping back a lot.
Yeah. Zainal now over to Cam. Right with his teammate, and he's
one of them saying in the chat that they can't join because of the SA race.
Right now. It looks like really close fight, and Cam is trying to go from outside in front of, but he was quite a little. And we will see who will be faster at the end of the corner at the exit. But it's really hard to overtake there. It looks like the other guy. Oh no, he did a mistake and he spun and May.
Already
It looks like it will be really close and he's trying to get, but he will get probably many flat spot and his tires will be destroyed. Marty is really struggling. Oh no, F1 is out of the track and now they are going to the front. This is what I told about the pressures.
He's gonna try and go for it. It does look like he's braking so much later. Oh, he's gonna send it.
Yeah, he sent it. Oh, a little bit touch, but he can do it. But now he maybe tried from the outside and it's like wheel by wheel. We will see who will be better exit, but on the inner side will be Chris and probably he did it with a really nice move. It looks really interesting. Now we can see how fast he is and if he's enough of this corner. Look at this, he is going to the front of the Mercedes like nothing. This is how we like it, this fight. I did a mistake and he lost it. Now they are going much closer. And now Greenwood lost the position and SD overtook him and they are fighting for a P4 with a Bentley. What happened to Greenwood?
Oh, and SD12 is gonna really send it. Oh,
yeah, he really tried to. Oh no, and he.
Greenwood just goes by. He's gonna weigh that for him. Try to let him buy
for the tires because they are going to change it, and you can see he's making every rubber and dust because he's trying to defend, but he will now losing the grip because he was on the better line with the full of the small things on the ground from the tires, you know, and he will be struggling. Now it's Enelo behind you, and he did a mistake again, and he hit the wall. Oh no, that's really bad. But still he can't overtake him again. It's really interesting.
Trying to get a run on Sergey here. Sergey's gonna drag him all the way to the wall.
Oh, he's really fighting too much and defending.
Into the wall.
But what they did, how is it possible killing after that big mistake? He's still in front of the Sergey, and it looks like Cam is much quicker right now with his destroyed tires because he can probably manage it better, or his setup is better for the tires, so he can now get the advantage. But it's not the white flag here, so probably something happened to someone, and he's trying to do it from the outside. Oh, and he's now on the inside, and he can do it probably. I hope no touch here, and he did it much quicker in the corners, I think so. But
he's gonna have to run straight away. Greenwood didn't bring him down to the white line to the wall. He's gonna go down the inside on him.
Wow, it's beautiful. Yes, side by side in front. Oh, and it looks like now SD12 it's overtaking Cam, and they are fighting really close right now. And he's defending.
He's gonna go around the outside.
Yeah,
outside. He gets it done.
Yeah, he really did it. Amazing move. No shame. Totally, and I want to see that fight with Cam too, because he's fight with Rompu side by side right now. Whoa. And they are still side by side right now from the inside the rope, but he have no power for doing it, as SD12 did a really great move. Because it's a better position, so yeah. Oh, and they spun. No, Rompu hits the Cam and hit him again, and he's waiting for the position, but they are in the blind corner. Oh no, is right now, and I'm really waiting for the mistake from some driver here, and it should be really interesting if who will make a mistake. Yeah, who will crash and dive on another, and Chris is now in front of the Sergey.
Sergey is probably gonna. Oh, he's looking. Cam just looks like he's just cruising by right now. Will Sergey on the brakes, trying to defend it? Yeah, he's gonna try it.
Yeah, a little bit contact, but still nothing happened. But as you can see now, they're trying to be like patient and don't send it everywhere, because it should be destructive for both of them and they really know it. And Rompu can get a really good and easy position if they crash or do some really big mistake. And it looks like now they send it, whoa! And now it's Sergey on the inner side. He's fast enough? No, he don't. So Cam now get a really nice position.
Mistake on pit lane, just I mean, unless that SD12 makes a massive mistake here, then it does look like he's set in P5 for now.
He sent it. Rob is overtaking Zainal, and now he did it. Wow, really? But
as long as everyone keeps their positions, then they're all just gonna finish exactly how the order stands. But anything can happen. This is not what we're talking about, so anything can happen.
yeah,
Just don't know yet.
now he's into the third sector. SOP Leon Sealy. He is the leader of this race, P1. He is getting to finish this hard race and probably totally destroy tires like everybody. And he really deserved this position because he did it really well, this race, and he is now at the first position for him. Really good job. Guido on the second place now into the last corner, trying to go without any problems to the second place, and Chris Pisson got the penalty. Yeah, it's almost two.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the fourth round of the GT3 Championship here on Assetto Corsa Competizione for Motive Racing. We're at Spa. If you haven't already recognised, we've got 9 drivers out on the track here for the Tier 2 division of this championship. And my name's Andy, so you may recognise I'm joined in the commentary box tonight by my friend from yesterday, Funstopper. Funstopper, welcome along.
Hi, it's good to be back in the commentary box, and looking forward to a great race in Tier 2 today.
Yeah, absolutely, should be a good one. We got a few cars out on the track. A couple of drivers couldn't make it tonight, so unfortunately we've got about half filled up field, but I'm sure we're going to see an exciting race nonetheless. Currently Gunnar Gamble setting the pace here in this one. He's top of the leaderboard by quite some way ahead of Kenny. These two the only drivers to have put in lap times just at the moment. It's our second race at Spa in the space of a week. We raced here for the GT4s on Wednesday night, so the drivers who took part in the GT4s in midweek will be a little bit more familiar with this track than say the others, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see the difference between the drivers who have had the practice and those who are coming in essentially blind to this one. But Kenny's put in a lap there. He was present for the GT4 race on Wednesday night, raced in Tier 2 for that one. We got Gunnar Gamble still top of the leaderboard, Eduardo, Cosmic Mike up there towards the sharp end. They've both put laps in as we've got somebody else joining the session, which is good to see. Looks like we are going to have 10 cars out on track here for these Tier 2s, and 10 cars was, I suppose that's not that too bad, is it? 10 cars is more than enough to see some good exciting racing.
Yeah, but you know, at Spa it is very much a driver's track, and 2 areas where
you're going to see a lot of mistakes is the braking zone for the bus stop and Arouge and Radeon, because you really have to get those two corners right, or else you're just going to end up backwards or hitting the wall. So it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to get very exciting indeed as we see Hazpaz losing the car a little bit coming out of the bus stop chicane. Hazpaz has been in and around the Discord server quite a bit, and it's good to have him finally out on the track. I believe he's making his debut tonight, unless he was racing last week. I haven't had a chance to see the tier 2s from last week. I did watch the tier 1s, so I had to, because I made the highlights video last night in the middle of the night, but the tier 2s didn't manage to catch it, so I'm not sure if he raced last week. But good to finally see Hazpaz for myself out on the track at the moment. Still yet to put a lap in at the moment. Oh, as he gets really sideways there, coming through Rouge into the barriers there at the top of the hill, coming through Radeon. So that will have some damage on the car. I'm sure we wanted to bring it in and get that fixed. But Gonna Gamble, Kenny, Eduardo, Sampa and Cosmic Mike, your top 5 at the moment. Spider-Man's also putting a lap, little bit off the pace at the moment. Dylan, Hazpaz and On The Load are all sat in the pits, and W is currently out there on a lap at the moment. W, one of the regular racers in our GT4 league, also has turned out for a couple of Porsche Super Cup races, I think, as a reserve. So he's raced pretty much across the board here on ACC at Motive, and it's good to have him out on the track tonight as well in a nice pink McLaren. I wonder where we've seen that hot pink McLaren before. I'm sure last season's champion drove in that. Carlton. But yeah, look very, very fetching livery indeed. A little bit of a different shade of pink though, gotta say, but very, very fetching nonetheless. So yeah, 6 minutes left to go in this session at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching for the first time here on Motive, then be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and join us at motiveracing.com if you'd like to get involved in the on-track action. We've got plenty of leagues across many different categories. We've got leagues on ACC, we've got the GT3s in front of your eyes at the moment, also the Porsche Super Cup on a Monday night, the GT4s on a Wednesday, Project Cars 2, we've got the Clio Cup, Touring Cars, GT3s, and a multi-class series on a Saturday night as well, the LMP2 GTE multi-class. Very exciting stuff there. Also we've got F1 2021 leagues coming very soon. If you play on F1, you want to see what we're about, all I have to say is check out our playlist on the F1 game from last season. We got, I think, pretty much 20 streams. We missed about 2 or 3. I think we got at least 20 on the channel from that season. So we have some proper extensive coverage on that. If you want to see what it's like, then definitely take a look through the backlog. But lots and lots of videos here from the Motive Racing channel over the course of the last year and a half. So if anything like this tickles your fancy, if you think this is going to be the community for you, then definitely come and check it out. That's my advice to you, to anybody watching. But watching W coming through the final section of this lap right about now, flat out through Blanchimont, gets a little bit wide. We know the track limits can be a little bit uncompromising, and here he comes onto the brakes, not taking too much curb on the entry to the bus stop. Very nice and tidy on the exit. Let's see what it's going to be for W. Can he get himself in amongst it here? Over the line he comes, and he goes top of the leaderboard. Wow, 0.3 of a second he takes off of Gonna Gamble there. 4.5 minutes left in this session. What can Gonna Gamble do in response to that? W has just set down a marker there. Brilliant stuff. Kenny's still sat in P3 at the moment. He's pulled off to the side of the road, so he's clearly not on a good one. We'll have time to get out there and do another lap though. He's still got time left in the session to get that done.
Yeah, it just looked like he exceeded track limits there and just said, yeah, I'm going to pull out of it now. So it's very easy to do there. Really easy to just run wide at some of these corners. It's just sometimes the apexes will just pull you out and you just have no chance. So very, very difficult track here.
Absolutely. Oh, this stuff going on in general chat now is triggering me. It's triggering me. Got to respond to this. Oof. Oh man, this Killian needs the... I'm sure that Killian raced in Tier 1 last week. I'm so confused.
Yeah, he did.
How come
Yeah, he raced in Tier 1 last week, I remember.
How come he's, in that case?
Yeah, I remember him in Tier 1 last week.
Yeah, he did well. He was up there, he was really quick.
Yeah, he was doing really, really well. But, yeah. For anyone not watching the Discord server at the moment, yeah, just... There is a little bit of drama going on, so, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about this,
just
ladies
a little.
and gentlemen. Yeah, it's not nothing too major, just behind the scenes at Motive Racing right now. But yeah, W still sat at the top of the leaderboard, currently got a gamble 3/10 off. Let's see if W can rub salt in the wounds. I think he's actually backed off a little bit at the end of this lap to get a good run up for his next lap, so he's going to go for one more attempt here to try and extend that margin if he can. Gonna gamble in towards the final part of this lap. He might get a bit of a tow from Ferrari up ahead of him. I believe that's Cosmic Mike just up ahead of him. Cosmic Mike's going to be the first across the line here. Out of the last corner he comes, and the number 23 up towards the line. What is this going to be for Cosmic Mike? Here he comes. It's not an improvement for him at the moment. What about W? Can he... Sorry, not W. Gonna gamble even up towards the line. Can he go a little bit quicker and displace W at the top of that leaderboard? Nope, not at the moment. Still lacking a little bit of time there at the top, so he can't quite go fastest at the moment. But on the low, Hasbaz, Dylan McGivern still yet to set lap times here in this session. Dylan driving that Lamborghini, a very tricky car. We've seen Sergei Zainalov make the absolute most of it in this GT3 series. Let's see if Dylan can do the same, as Kenny's pitted from P3, so he obviously doesn't think he can improve in this session. Eduardo's just coming through campus now. He's 2 seconds off. He's riding in the GTR here for this series. Tricky car choice, but looks like he's not doing too bad of a job at the moment. Obviously, this being a bit of a power track spa, so it will... Well, I say that, but that middle sector is definitely not a power part of the track. But I don't know. For some reason, I always think of Spa as a power track, but if you think about it, it actually isn't in a way, because you've got so many corners in that middle part of the lap. It actually suits the more downforcey cars quite a lot. But I think that's that for the session anyway. So we're into the final knockings now. Everybody can finish the lap that they're on. So W currently coming around the middle part of the lap. Gonna gamble will be the next across the line after W. These two, the real contenders for pole position here in this session. Let's see what's going to come of it. As Sampa's in the pits, he's done. In fact, he's not in the pits, but he's in the wall. He's definitely not going to do a quick lap from there. As Cosmic Mike pulls up alongside him. Oh no, he's in the pits. He's in the pits. W coming in towards the final few corners here of this lap, in towards Blanchimont. You want to be flat through there. He's keeping it within the white lines. Oh, he's right on the edge of the track, just about keeping it within the confines of the grey stuff. Here he comes into bus stop, goes a little bit deep into the corner, and that's going to have his lap done. So he's not going to improve. He needs to just sit, wait, hope and pray that Gunnar Gamble hasn't found 0.3 of a second on this lap that he's currently on. He comes into Blanchimont now, getting wide onto that artificial grass, getting the best possible runoff. Not quite as wide coming through that corner, but his lap's being cancelled. Oh no, the game has just had a mare there. The game has just cancelled his lap and thrown him out. We'll never know what sort of lap that was, Fun Stuffer, because unfortunately the game just proceeded to the race when he was still on the lap there.
Yeah, it did seem like it was going really, really smooth. I mean, clipped the grass on penultimate corner, it seemed like, so it really did seem like he was going on, but he will be on the front row, so that's the takeaway from it. So
yeah, that's true, but I'm sure that he'll feel like he might have had the potential to get himself on pole position, but yes, not all doom and gloom. It's certainly not over. He just needs to get over that initial disappointment and come back and let that spur him on at the start of this race. 2 minutes to go here before the start of the Tier 2 race for round 4 of the GT3 Championship here at Motive Racing on Assetto Corsa Competizione. If you haven't already, guys, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the Motive Racing channel. Join us at motiveracing.com, and if you want to get involved, definitely sign up at motiveracing.com. You'll see the big sign up page on the as you get onto the website. You'll see that you've got 3 options. You've got ACC, Project Cars 2 and F1. F1 currently not in progress at the moment, but league's coming on F1 2021 when that comes out in a month or so's time. Let us know in the comment section who your pick is for the race win. Who do we reckon is going to be taking this one? Who's our money on? Funstopper, I've got to ask you that question. Seeing as we're the commentators and we've got a lot of power in this box, who are you going to put your 2 cents on for this one?
Not again. There's a difference between the person I really want to win and the person I'm going to pick. Because I'm going to try and outsmart the commentators, Chris. I'm going to try. So I think that Gonna Gamble has a really good shot. I mean, it's looking really, really quick in the qualifying, and I was watching this lap and it just looked very, very smooth, very planted car, just looked really, really good. So I think he has a good shot at this. Just
do you know what? I'm gonna, you know how there's the old adage that 2 negative make a positive. I'm going to go for Gonna Gamble as well. So maybe we might just actually counteract this commentator's curse a little bit if we throw a little spanner in the works, or see what we can do with that one. Maybe we might be able to help Gonna Gamble overcome this commentator's curse. We've seen it a couple of times over the course of the last week or so. The commentator's curse has been thrown out of the window, but W will definitely be taking a lot of solace from this, hearing that us putting our money on Gonna Gamble, because it will definitely make him a bit more confident coming into this one. But 5 seconds left to go.
And I'm sure Kenny is just sat there rubbing his hands right now and just like, yeah.
Yeah, just these W and Gonna Gamble just going to come together, coming through Eau Rouge, lap 1, into the wall, race over. Kenny's just going to pick up the pieces. But here we go then. We are. Nice. I'm sure he wouldn't mind that at all. But here we go then. We are underway for this formation lap. So obviously W's going to lead us around. Took pole position by 0.3 of a second. Did his lap with about 5 minutes left to go in the session. Gonna Gamble looked like he was on a good one towards the end of the session, but then unfortunately for him, just got kicked out of his lap by the game with about 2 corners left to go. A bit of a glitch here on ACC on PS4. I don't know if it's a problem on PC as well, but sometimes if you're on one of the longer tracks like Spa, you cross the line to start a flying lap and it cancels your lap as you're coming towards the end of it. I think it's like a timer. If you start it with less than 2 minutes on the clock, then you've basically had it. So unfortunate there for Gonna Gamble, but W is going to lead us around. You see a few of the drivers just doing a few weaving in and out and trying to get those tyres up to temperature if they possibly can. W, the only one not really getting his tyres warm at the moment, and he's probably the one who needs to, because he's not, he needs to make sure that he can hold on to this lead, especially coming up through Eau Rouge and Radion. If you've got cold tyres coming through there, that could be a race over before it's even got going.
Oh yeah, and this is just where, warming up your tires and everything, the weaving, it all looks nice and cool, but it's very, very functional, and you really have to warm them up as best you can, and you have to start, stepping on the throttle, stepping on the brake, stepping on the throttle, stepping on the brake, and just, me personally, I find it very effective to be kind of aggressive with it, and just fling the car from each side of the track, and just get it nice and warm. But it doesn't seem like these guys are doing that at the moment. They're just playing it nice and safe, which is no problem with that.
Nothing wrong with playing it safe, absolutely. It's better be safe than sorry.
Except Dylan at the back did look like he was doing being a little aggressive with it.
I'm just noticing actually Dylan is another driver. What is it with Lamborghini drivers? I think pad users tend to find the Lamborghini to be the best car. You can tell he's on the pad. Look at his steering inputs. Look at that.
Oh,
you can see, looking in his cockpit, he's 100% driving on a controller. But I respect any drivers who play this ACC game on the controller. Project Cars 2, there's a lot of options and customizability, if that's even a word. I don't even know if it is. But there's a lot of things you can do to try and make the control system a little bit more manageable. But on ACC, there's nothing you can do. It's literally just a straight up sim. You have to play it out of the box. So if you're a pad user, you kind of just have to get used to it. It's pretty much a case of, this is what you got, go out and deal with it, see what you can do. So any massive respect to anybody who makes it work and has the pace. Sergei Zaimlov, the only one I believe in tier 1 who races on the pad, but Dylan clearly, as you can see from his steering inputs outside of the cockpit, is using the dual shock. But Here we go then, in towards the final few corners of this formation. That W being very calm out the front, not getting his tyres warmed up, not doing any theatrics, not doing any stop starts, trying to get his brakes into order. So it could come back to bite him on the backside once we get going though, coming up through the first few corners, because it's a very, very steep climb up through Eau Rouge, and you try and take it flat out because it is technically a very, very fast corner. There's not really, you don't really have to lift off or brake through there, but at the same time it really does require a lot of the tyres to in order to go through it. So hopefully he's not going to come a cropper there. But here we come into the bus stop. We're not going to go just here. Now a lot of people will think that this is where the race starts, coming out of the bus stop chicane out onto the start finish straight, but in this GT layout of Spa you actually go out of La Source. So in fact, not even out of La Source, you come out of La Source, you come up towards the line, and then literally go green flag just before you get to Eau Rouge. So that can be a recipe for disaster if you go side by side. Hopefully everybody keeps it clean, nobody tries to go too wide coming through Eau Rouge, because it simply does not work. It's been tried, tested by multiple drivers, and only Mark Webber and Fernando Alonso I think are able to do that, and a few others.
Yeah, and that just tells you.
Yeah, so you know, please guys, please just don't try and be the hero, for goodness sake, please. But here we come into La Source. This is the last corner of the formation lap, and then we will be moments away from the green flag. W, it's got Gunnar Gamble already making moves, trying to get alongside him if he can and try and get into his head possibly. It's going to be a very tense start between all of these drivers. 10 cars out on the track. W, Gunnar Gamble, Kenny and Eduardo on the second row behind them. Cosmic Mike Sampa in 5th and 6th, with Spider-Man Dylan McGivern, Hasbazan on the Lolo at the back of the field in P10. And here we go, green light, we are underway, and it looks like W gets a good start. But Gunnar Gamble has already got Kenny looking to his inside, and he's going to try and make the move there. Kenny being very aggressive, and he's into the wall. Oh, Kenny's gone off coming through Eau Rouge. W leads the field. Gunnar Gamble gets away with that one and manages to get through unscathed. Kenny's dropped it onto the back of the field there. Eduardo just behind them with Cosmic Mike pressuring him already. Sampa, Spider-Man, Dylan McGivern, Hasbazan on the Lolo at the back of the field. But Gunnar Gamble very lucky there not to get caught out with Kenny. Kenny was pretty much trying to get his elbows out very early on in that one, fun stopper.
Yeah, you want to know something? The person I was thinking
Sampa's round! Sampa's round, sorry mate, sorry to jump in there. It looks like Sampa's had a bit of contact there with Hasbaz on the Lolo, may have got caught out as he was making his way through. Kenny down is at the back of the field behind these guys, but these two having an absolute mare there, and Dylan I think has got through as well. He's still on the back of Sampa right now. W and Gunnar Gamble, well, W's already gapped Gunnar Gamble, he's got over a second to him at the front. Eduardo and Cosmic Mike running in 3rd and 4th at the moment. But oh, disaster for those guys coming through Lacombe.
Yeah, you want to know the funny thing? I was secretly rooting for Kenny, and then that happened.
Yeah, the whole point, the whole reason why you put the curse on Gunnar Gamble was so that Kenny would win. But you know, clearly this commentator's curse isn't just a verbal thing; it's also you know,
mental.
It's in your mind as well. Yeah, if you think, if you even root for somebody just secretly, then it's going to be problems for that driver. As we can see, Kenny's about to pick up the pieces because on the Lolo is struggling, and he's probably going to pick up that position there. No, it's not on the Lolo, so I do apologise. It's actually Hasbaz there who's falling back into the clutches, and he's lost out massively here at the start of this race. Kenny already making his progress here. He's got ahead of Sampa up into 7th place. W still leads as they're coming round into the bus stop chicane, about to complete lap 1. Gunnar Gamble's still running in 2nd place right now. Eduardo P3 has pulled out from Cosmic Mike a little bit, almost a second now separating these two. There's Dylan in P5 with on the Lolo a long way behind him in 6th place. Bit of a gap back to Kenny and Sampa, who are still battling this one out here. And Kenny's going to defend the inside coming into the bus stop chicane. I think Sampa's going to try and go around him, but Kenny's going to cover that one off for now. Hasbaz and Spider-Man now running at the back. I think he might have a bit of damage. He possibly got caught up in that incident, I think, coming through turn 5. Might have prevented him from getting the best out of this car on this opening lap. He's now a long way behind the leaders, but running at the front at the moment, W and Gunnar Gamble, the two dominant drivers in the qualifying session, showing the way at the moment. And Gunnar Gamble's managed to pull a little bit back on W over the course of, well, since they crossed the line to finish the first lap. I think it's a little bit less than 9/10 of a second now, maybe about 7-8 tenths between the two of them. Oh no, it's actually gone up a bit. It's now over a second. So W's got some pretty severe pace down the straights in that McLaren. He's obviously got a low downforce setup. Allowed him to leave Gunnar Gamble a little bit through that section of the track. Gunnar Gamble looks quicker through the corners. I'm calling that one already. It looks like Gunnar Gamble's got a very, very planted car coming through the corners. Cosmic Mike's fallen off the back of Eduardo a little bit now. Dylan McGivern on the Lolo, and Sampa's still sticking to the back of Kenny here after Kenny made that move on him coming towards the end of the first lap. As Hasbaz has now dropped down to the back of the field. Spider-Man's up into 9th, so Hasbaz having a bit of a shaker there. But race kind of settling down a little bit. Gunnar Gamble's really close up into the back of W though. Look at this front stopper. These two are tied at the hip right now.
Oh yeah. To me, it did seem like Gunnar Gamble was incredibly late on the brakes coming into the bus stop, and just gained so much time on W. So if it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen on the brakes in the bus stop.
Yeah, I reckon so. That's going to be his best opportunity, possibly at the end of the Kemmel Straight coming into the Coombe, but the braking zone isn't as deep there, so it's not going to present as much of a chance. It will definitely be a case of W maybe making a mistake coming out of Radion. That could give him an opportunity, but here we come. This is the part of the track where he's probably going to try and get it done. We saw a very exciting race in the GT4s. Oh, so we see Gunnar Gamble losing the car, and he's pinned it into the barriers there. He's hit the wall. He's going to have a bit of front end damage, gets it going in front of Eduardo. Is Eduardo going to pick up the pieces here up into second place? He is round the outside into the bus stop. Cosmic Mike's having a look, but he's going to get to the party a little bit too late for that one. But Eduardo's up into second, and Gunnar Gamble dropping down to third place there, as W has now got a comfortable lead at the front over these guys. But Gunnar Gamble having a bit of a mistake there. Cosmic Mike just behind him. Dylan McGivern watching this in the foreground there, watching this unfold in front of him. But disastrous moment there for Gunnar Gamble, when he possibly might have a bit of damage on the front of that car, which is going to definitely halt his progress later on in the race.
Yeah, just didn't counteract commentator's curse, did it? Stuttering.
Counter steer.
Counter steer, something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he didn't save it in time, and unfortunately it's kind of cost him a little bit there, as Sampa's still on the back of Kenny. These two separated by 4/10. They're not too far off the back of On the Lolo either, so this could become a three-way battle for 6th place pretty quickly. Gunnar Gamble's managed to get back ahead of Eduardo up into 2nd place, so the damage not affecting him too much at the moment. Cosmic Mike also getting ahead of Eduardo, so Eduardo losing 2 places in the space of a couple of corners. He's now got Dylan very close behind him as well, so it could be a bit of a double trouble here, or triple trouble even, for Eduardo in this one. Still confusing me the fact that his position still hasn't dropped to P4. He is definitely in P4 though, because you can see quite clearly that he's been passed by Gunnar Gamble and Cosmic Mike. So Eduardo dropping back, and he's now looking to try and get back on the rear end of Cosmic Mike if he can. Coming up towards Campus, he's going to have the inside here. He's going to make the move side by side, and he has done that one very nicely there. So Eduardo back up into 3rd. Gunnar Gamble's already gapping these in 2nd place now, but Eduardo making a good move there, and now Cosmic Mike having to defend because Dylan's all over the back of him coming in towards Stavilo, but he's defending that inside line is Cosmic Mike, and no way around for Dylan at the moment. Still having a look here as they come out of this section of the track in towards the final sector. He's going to try around the long way if he can. Ooh, takes the curve a little bit, keeps together though, and still in that slipstream of Cosmic Mike. This is giving Eduardo a chance to just lead them a little bit and get into some clear air, try and shake him off. Dylan though looking all over Cosmic Mike as they come in towards Blanchimont. He's still got that toe, he's still very, very close. Is he going to try and go for a dive here coming into the bus stop chicane? He needs to pull out of the slipstream and make sure he's clear of him if he does, and here he goes onto the brakes. Oh, he goes a bit deep. Oh no, he loses. Oh, he's completely, he definitely could have just cut the corner there and taken his losses, but he made a big effort there to stick to the track and make the corner, so hats off to him. But Cosmic Mike able to let off the hook a little bit there.
Yeah, but either way, Dylan really seems like he has picked up the pieces in this race so far. I mean, he did start like a little further in the back, didn't he? So it seems like he just kind of watched everything happen and just picked his way through.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? But yeah, he unfortunately Dylan there going a little bit hot into the bus stop chicane, and it's cost him a little bit there. He'll have to regroup and go again. W's gap to Gunnar Gamble now 6.8 seconds. If Gunnar Gamble's got damage on the front of his car and it's not showing too much, he's not dropping back by too much. He's kind of just keeping that gap the same as what it is to W, so it's not really going too wrong for him at the moment. If he can just keep doing what he's doing, he might be able to bring himself back in. What Gunnar Gamble did very well from that incident where he hit the wall coming out of Blanchimont, and I noticed it at the time, was that he definitely slowed the car down quite a lot. Like you could see, he had the brakes full on. He was properly making sure the car was going as slow as he could possibly get it to go before making that contact with the wall. The contact was inevitable, but the damage, he could have made he could have definitely limited the damage by quite a bit. So maybe, just maybe, the damage is not severe enough to hamper his pace. Who knows? But he's definitely not dropping miles off the back of W. He's had to get back past Eduardo and CosmicMike, and in the process he's still only 6 seconds behind him. So don't rule out Gunnar Gamble of bringing this fight to W in this race. Just noticing there on the timing board, 7/10 he took out of him for that middle sector. Look at that, he's on fire right now. It's Gunnar Gamble, and this could definitely get tasty in this race. We're just about over a quarter of the way into this one, coming through the mid phase of this race. Mandatory pit stops on, which wasn't supposed to happen. The second week it's happened again. It's happened again. But these guys know now. These guys know now they don't have to make a pit stop. These guys know they don't have to make a stop. Yeah, no, 100%. We just thought we'd keep them on the ball, see if they remember that they don't have to make a pit stop.
Ooh,
Definitely
almost a second Gunnar Gamble took out a W.
He's flying at the moment. The damage that I thought he would have picked up from that contact, clearly he hasn't picked up any damage, has he? Because he's just flying right now. Definitely on a bit of a purple patch at the moment is Gunnar Gamble. CosmicMike's still sticking to the back of Eduardo right now. A second separating these two in the battle for that final podium spot. You've got Dylan dropping off the back of these in P5. He obviously made that mistake coming into the bus stop and has continued to fall off the pace a little bit there. Kelly still running in 6th place right now. He's 5 seconds off of the back of Dylan. On the Lolo dropping back consistently. Sampa and Spider-Man separated by not much, and Spider-Man's closing the gap, getting himself into this fight for 8th place as Hasbaz is into the pits to make his stop. But I don't think obviously there is no stop, so you don't have to observe that rule, but Hasbaz has come in and made that stop, so that's awkward.
Captain W and Gunnar Gamble has gone down to 4.5. Still nicking away.
He is, yeah. He's definitely bringing that down, and yep, the gap's coming down. It was quite a bit earlier on, but Gunnar Gamble's just working away, getting little bits at a time. And it's
he's got almost 20 minutes to do it, so just kind of take your time.
Exactly, yeah. There's no well, 20 minutes. Obviously, there is a time limit on this one, so he needs to get it done pretty soon. But look at that, he's only 2.3 seconds off. W must have a bit of damage on the car, because he is dropping back hand over fist. He is making clearly a few mistakes here, and it's bringing Gunnar Gamble back into this battle. Gunnar Gamble's already got 10 seconds back to this battle between Eduardo and CosmicMike, which is continuing to rage on. CosmicMike within 9/10 of a second of him at the moment, but we're going to watch this battle for the lead. W and Gunnar Gamble separated by less than 2 seconds now. You can quite clearly see on the visually in front of us right now on the monitor that there's less than 2 seconds separating the two of them. I reckon it'd be about 1.7, 1.8 over the line. There's 2 seconds on the dot there. So yeah, very, very close now. Gunnar Gamble took 3/10 out of W through the final sector, but it was the middle sector where he really made the gains. He gained about 2 seconds in the middle sector, so W must have clearly made a mistake somewhere. Maybe he went onto the gravel coming out of Stavolo. Just trying to think where he could have done that. But right now he needs to regroup, as we can see Eduardo, CosmicMike and Dylan all coming into the pits. So we're gonna, yeah, everyone's gonna need to make a pit stop really. Because obviously if some people are coming, everyone's going to have to come in. So hopefully everybody observes that pit stop.
Yeah, now down to half a second gap between the two leaders.
Yeah, so it's definitely very, very close now as Gunnar Gamble's looking to the inside, coming down the hill. W's going to leave the door open. Is he? Oh, he closes it, slams that door just as Gunnar Gamble was getting his foot in it. But I think that W's gone wide there, and Gunnar Gamble slips up the inside and up into the lead of the race. He's got that one done brilliantly there, and W seemed pretty defenceless. He must have a bit of damage on that car fun stopper, because I can't imagine he's got that in full working order.
Oh yeah, or maybe it's just put too much fuel in the car and boosted it through there.
Did well there to stop that from going into the walls. I've got to say, he saved that one very nicely. He made the mistake, but he definitely cleaned up very nicely there. He gets a little bit wide onto the grass coming into campus, which is going to put him offline. It's starting to unravel a little bit though for W. One mistake's leading to another, and it's causing him to get into a bit of a rut right now. He just needs to get himself together, take a deep breath, maybe pit this lap and just take a moment, just a breather, just to get himself back in the groove again. But he's already 5 seconds off at the back of Gunnar Gamble. Oh, he loses it coming out of the corner. Oh no! And he just gets it slowed down enough to kiss the wall. So it not going to be too much damage on that McLaren. But oh my goodness me, it really is all going wrong for him right now. He needs to get himself in the pits and get his head back in the game.
Yeah, and if he stays out, keeps making mistakes like this, Kenny will be there to capitalize on it immediately. So he's got to watch out.
Definitely, Kenny's not going to be too far off of him now. He's going to be within that 10-second mark of W, as he just seems to be capitulating at this point. Gunnar Gamble still leads this race, and he's got quite a significant margin now as W's bringing it into the pits to make his stop. Kenny is staying out for now on the low. Looks like he's going to be staying out for the time being as well. But I think a pit stop around here is about a minute and 10 from what I've heard. But we'll have to figure that out. If some drivers don't come in and make the pit stop, we'll just have to even it out with the timings. But hopefully everyone does come in and make that stop anyway. Gunnar Gamble though leading this race, continuing to do the business out in front. He's done a very, very good job here in this race. Made a small mistake in the opening lap, put it into the barriers coming out of Blanchimont, but since then he's not put a foot wrong. He's brought himself back into the race, got himself back ahead of Kenny, and also to get ahead of Eduardo and Cosmic Mike. He's done absolute bits here in this race. Closed onto the leader. W clearly had a bit of damage on the car, which has hampered him enormously, but Gunnar Gamble had to go and seize the initiative, and he's done that really well, and he's now got a very convincing lead at the front to show for it. Kenny running in P2. We expect W to regain that second place in the race once Kenny comes in and makes his stop. On the low coming into the pits this lap as well. I would assume that Gunnar Gamble, Kenny and Spider-Man are all going to pull the trigger this lap, because they're not going to have much time to do it after this, with the length of the lap around Spa being around 2 minutes 25. So there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunities after this lap for them to get it done. But Hasbaz also in the pits making his stop. I think he's been in the pits for some time now. He has been in there for a while. Gunnar Gamble coming in towards the final part of this lap. Is he going to pull the trigger this time around, or is he going to just try and stay out there for one more lap? Let's see what he does. He goes a little bit wide there coming through Blanchimont. He might get a track limits warning for that. We saw Ryan Ruby getting a drive-through penalty for running wide out of that corner for what I assume was his final warning, and Gunnar Gamble staying out for now, so he needs to come in on the next lap. He needs to make sure that he brings it into the pits at the end of this lap that he's currently starting. Kenny coming in towards the final sector. Spider-Man coming through the middle sector now. Cosmic Mike W on the low. Eduardo, Sampa all have come in and got that done and out of the way. But Gunnar Gamble continuing to go round in the lead of the race at the moment. Lap 8 of this one for the Tier 2s for Motive Racing's GT3s on ACC. And Gunnar Gamble looking very good for this one.
Just if they're going to make it in, it's going to be a close one. They're going to have like 1 minute worth of pit window open. It's either they pit this lap or it's going to be a massive penalty.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be major consequences if they don't come in and get that done. Kenny staying out. Wow. Surprising there.
Spider-Man came in.
Spider-Man's in. Kenny has got time to make it round. He should be able to. The pit window, obviously, if you get into the pits before it closes, then you're okay. It's not a case of if you leave the pits after the pit window's ended. As long as you're in the pits when it ends, it's okay. You can leave the pits after the pit window's ended. As long as you've entered the pits, you're okay. So Gonna Gamble and Kenny have just got to make sure they get into the pits before that pit window closes. With a lap being around 2:20, and Kenny quite a way into this lap already, should be okay with that one. Currently Gonna Gamble leading this race by 29 seconds over Kenny. We're expecting that W, actually what's happened to W over the course of this pit window? He's now behind XmecOnline, Eduardo and on the Lolo, so he's had to go through some extensive damage repairs, and that's really cost him in this race. It's dropped him back absolutely miles off of the leaders here. W not having the best of events, that is for sure. It's been pretty much just everything has gone wrong since getting passed by Gonna Gamble.
Yeah, just really taking him out of this completely, and just, yeah, you have to feel for him. It's just, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
It's such a shame, because he was on pole position and looked to be the man to beat. Obviously, we both tipped Gonna Gamble for the win, and currently, no, sorry, we both tipped Gonna Gamble for the win. And fun stuff, but the most amazing thing about this is that he's currently leading, and he's comfortably leading, and we tipped him for the win. I told you, 2 negatives make a positive.
Yeah. I'm just still hoping Kenny's good for that P2.
He's looking good at the minute.
Just a matter of where he comes out.
He needs to come in this lap. Hopefully. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Well,
why did I speak? Why do I speak?
He'll argue that it says on the Discord that you can't make a pit. That you don't have to make a pit stop. He will argue that, and we're gonna have to do a little bit of background research into this now. We're gonna have to see exactly how much time you lose in the pit stops, because ultimately he has got a solid argument there. He can very easily say, yep, it doesn't say on the Discord anyway that you have to bring it into the pits. So we're going to have to do a bit of testing here and find out exactly how much you lose through a standard pit stop here at Spa. If anybody knows, no, I'm joking. We'll test it ourselves. But Gonna Gamble in the pits to make his stop. Kenny's going to win this race on the track, but he's not going to win it overall. We're going to find out how long you lose in the pits. Unless you want to come in, Kenny. Unless you want to come in and make a stop and just make our lives easier, and we'll obviously just slot you in wherever you finish if you want. But oh dear, not ideal at all. Spider-Man still in the pits. Hasbaz has been in the pits for 6 laps now and looks to be very much out of the running in this one. But Gonna Gamble, your net race leader, once Kenny receives his penalty for not pitting. Currently 38 seconds between Kenny and Gonna Gamble at the moment. 11 people watching the stream. Guys, if you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us at MotiveRacing.com. This is the man currently in the net race lead. Kenny hasn't been into the pits to make that pit stop, which is mandatory, although he's got quite a solid argument for why he hasn't done it, which we're probably not going to address in full detail at the moment. But Gonna Gamble, your net race leader. XmecMike, probably your net 3rd place anyway, because Kenny would have slotted him in between Gonna Gamble and XmecMike. He's 37 seconds behind Gonna Gamble right now. Bit of a gap back to Eduardo. You see there, Eduardo is around 10 seconds off of the back of XmecMike at the moment. W led the earlier laps of this race, was on pole position in the qualifying session, but it just has not gone to plan at all for him in this race. He's made a few mistakes. I think he had a bit of damage on the car as well, which has really halted him after having such great pace in the qualifying session. It's all unravelled a little bit for this man. On the Lolo, still running in P6, he's 8 seconds off for the back of W at the moment. MeltedDazzer sat in P7. Spider-Man, I think, has called it a day. He hasn't moved a muscle since coming into the pit box by the looks of that. But Kenny's still out in front. He's got to come into the pits at some point. Race is kind of just dying out a little bit though, isn't it? Really, not a whole lot going on at this point.
Yeah, everyone's kind of spread out, and I mean, there's 7 minutes of the race to go, so and they have what 9-10 drivers and Spa for a half hour. It's gonna string out quite a lot, but
yeah, definitely. It's always gonna separate you a bit, but obviously with these pit stops, I find that it does actually stop a lot of the battles that go on out on the track, and it adds a bit of strategy, makes it that bit more interesting. But certainly it can kill off a few of the tussles that we see out on the track. As we can see, XmecOnline coming through the source right now. He's 9 seconds ahead of this man, Eduardo. W's closing the gap to Eduardo. He's bringing it down. It's now 5.6 between the two drivers in 4th and 5th places. So W could be on for a 4th place if he continues to put in the laps and get some decent times here. He will be disappointed with the result no matter what tonight, having started on pole position, but he can certainly limit that damage and try and come out of this with his head held high in some way or another. But yeah, he'll be disappointed for sure with how this one has panned out. If you're watching guys right now on the YouTube channel, then make sure you stay tuned for the Tier 1 race coming up after this. This the Tier 2's the precursor to the main event coming up very, very shortly. It'll be an hour race for the Tier 1s. Some of the fastest drivers on ACC on the PlayStation 4 platform will be out on track for that one. We're looking forward to having them in front of us, but right now we've had some very, very accomplished racers indeed in these Tier 2s, and it's always good to see some of the new up and coming hot prospects here on the channel as well, putting these cars through their paces. W's got the pace, but unfortunately just hadn't got the consistency tonight. Gunnar Gamble has really, really shone in this race here at Spa tonight. It's not an easy track, it's very, very long, it's windy, it's got plenty of corners and tricky to nail a setup, but if you get it right, it is so rewarding. And right now Gunnar Gamble looks like he's on course to get his just rewards. 5 minutes left to go here in this race. I think he's got about 3 more laps left to go here in this one, I believe, if my maths are not failing me. Should be 3 more laps, including the one that he's currently on. So not long left to go here in this Tier 2 race. W continuing to close that gap between himself and Eduardo. He's now within 3.7 seconds, so he's definitely bringing it to Eduardo, and this could be one that goes down to the wire. Eduardo's closing the gap to XmecOnline as well. He is, however, 8 seconds behind him, but it's kind of concertinaing up a little bit between these three. XmecOnline losing ground, Eduardo closing in on him, W closing the gap to Eduardo. This could get very tasty towards the end of this race. If XmecOnline were to make a mistake or slip or bin it or some way, then it's definitely going to open this up for a 3-way fight. But at the moment, I think that Eduardo's a little bit too far back to get anything done with XmecOnline. W though is really closing the gap to Eduardo. 3.2 between these two, coming on to what is their third to last lap of this race. Kenny's still leading, but he hasn't observed that pit stop, so just to even it out for all the drivers that did come in and make the pit stop, we are going to have to award Kenny a penalty, which befits the time in which he gained by not coming into the pits and making that stop. But yeah, obviously not his fault. He can argue, and rightly so, that there's no pit stop advertised on the Discord. But obviously, with the guys who didn't, the guys who did observe that mandatory pit stop, they will have to even it out a little bit. So once we know exactly what the time is lost in the pits, we'll have to just knock that off Kenny's time. But here he comes onto the 12th lap of this race. 3 minutes and 20 left on the clock. 2 laps left to go here at Spa for the Tier 2s, for the GT3s tonight. Gunnar Gamble, your net race leader, still doing the bits out front. Eduardo's not closing in as much on XmecOnline as he was, but look at this fun stuff for W. Now within 2 seconds, and he's bringing himself into this fight. He goes a little bit wide there through Poulon.
Oh yeah, W just really starting to pull himself back through and just kind of pick up pieces where he can. And well, if anything, there might be a little bit of a race going on here that we don't even see, but could be in there. If XmecOnline keeps pushing, maybe he could grab that P2 from Kenny. We're just not sure yet, but if you're Mike and you're hearing this, this might be a good time to push, and Kenny as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Just,
It's definitely going to be an opportunity. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, we don't know what exactly the gap is with Kenny. We're not 100% on what the time in the pits is, and with Kenny having not made that pit stop, he will obviously have to. Yeah, no, the Lazy Camel says in the comments, AC will add a time penalty. Yeah, but I'm not sure. I think it might add a bit more time than what you lose in the pits. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. We'll have to hold our horses on that one and wait and see. But these two onto their penultimate lap of this race. W brought the gap down to 1.6 seconds, but he is abusing the track limits. I've noticed a few times he's running wide and definitely using those runoffs a little bit more than what he's supposed to. So he needs to be careful. We saw in the GT4 Tier 2 on Wednesday night, Ryan Ruby overstepped the track limits a little bit too much and then managed to pick up a penalty on the last lap on the penultimate corner, having just taken the lead of the race. He ultimately got robbed of it, just not down to that one off-track skirmish, but it was just down to the fact that he had been doing it consistently throughout the race, and it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Essentially, it was just the final straw, which pretty much ruined the race. And unfortunately for him, he lost the win. I think he dropped back quite considerably down the order due to the fact that he wasn't able to serve that drive-through, as it was the last lap of the race. So these drivers need to be careful that they don't overstep the track limits on the last lap, because obviously there's nothing you can do about it on the last lap. That's it. Once you're on the last lap, you can't come in, you can't serve that drive-through. But Kenny coming up towards Eau Rouge for the final time. He's got 21 seconds back to Gonna Gamble. I want to say a big shout out to Gonna Gamble though, because his pace in the last part of this race has been astonishing. Back when Gonna Gamble came out of the pits, he was about 38 seconds behind Kenny. Gap's now 21 seconds. He's gained 17 seconds on Kenny just since he came out of the pits. He has been absolutely on it tonight at Spa, and his rival for the win in the early stages, W, made a few mistakes which dropped him out of the running, but Gonna Gamble has been faultless. Apart from that little mistake on the first lap where he was trying to get past W, he's just taken the ball by the horns and run with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just really, kind of made one little mistake, and after that just head down and really started pushing it and brought it back into the lead. So props to him.
Yeah, he's done a superb job here. That is for sure. As looks like, has Kenny finished the race? No, he hasn't. Sorry, that was just my game being a little bit funny there. But Kenny's
mine did that too.
Yeah, it said the session had ended. That's really weird. Bit of a head scratcher there from Assetto Corsa Competizione, but it's come back together again. As we can see, the race leader Kenny coming into the final few corners. Don't be fooled though, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to win this race. He didn't come in and make that pit stop, so he will get penalised at the end of this one. Hopefully the penalty will be something representative to the time that he gained by not coming into the pits, because we wouldn't want to see him get knocked back unjustly due to the game being too vague with its penalties. But here he comes in towards Blanchimont, goes a little bit wide out of the corner, doesn't get any track limits penalties, luckily, in towards bus stop now, and 20 seconds is his gap to Gonna Gamble. He still hasn't come into the pits. What is happening?
Yay!
What's happened?
Now we don't know what
on
never mind.
earth just happened there.
I have no idea. Well,
I think Sergey might have
Great
thought the race had finished. I bet you Sergey thought the race had ended. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
what's happened? Who reset the server?
I don't know.
I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say right now. I really don't know what to say.
I've been lost for words since the beginning of the race, and now I'm really lost for words.
I don't know what to say right now. I really don't.
Just intermission. Cut to commercial.
That's it. That's your lot. Well, that's the race. I guess we'll have to take the order from the I guess we'll have to take the order from when the server got reset. I don't even know. This reminds me actually of a situation back at the start of the season when I was restarting the servers and somebody put in the general chat section, don't you just love when you're coming out of the last corner and the server gets reset? Well, this time it wasn't even the last guy coming out of the last corner. No one had even crossed the line. The winner hadn't even crossed the line, and the server's getting reset. So we've just set a new record there as the server is reset prematurely. But I guess we're just gonna have to take the results from the last lap they completed. They made it to over 90% of the race distance, so 4 points will be awarded, and we'll just take the results from the lap that they finished last. So that is that for the tier 2s then, guys. We'll see you for the tier 1s very shortly. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
What's it?
No problems for now. It looks like Soapman Slaed getting a little bit wide, but it looks everything is alright. Nobody crashed.
Oh, we do have a little bit of an incident. Turn 1 with Emo Guy and Marty Road Racing.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, I see. Oh, this is it's a big spin. Yeah, it was spin too much. Okay, but at the front how it looks right now.
Results are all coming in right now.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Ratchet crashed. Ratchet crashed, and who is at the start? I don't know who is at the front because it looks.
That would be Tom.
Yeah,
is
Tom.
the leader right now.
Yeah, because it's so short. Ratchet, it's ridiculous. Okay, now it's Tom at the first place, Soapman behind, Squeedo behind, and then Bentley guy to the end.
Oh, Cam dropping back a lot.
Yeah. Sure. Zainalo now over to Cam. Crashed with his teammate, okay. And he's struggling and spinning too much right now. And Emo guy is at the end of the break right now. It looks like really close fight, and Kevin trying to get from outside the front of, but he was wide a little. And we will see who will be faster at the end of the corner at the exit. But it's really hard to overtake there. It looks like the other guy. Oh no, he did a mistake and he spun and May.
Marty.
Yeah.
Back to capitalize.
It looks like it will be really close, and he's trying to get, but he will get probably many flat spots and his tires will be destroyed. Marty is really struggling. Oh no! F1 is out of the track, and now they are going to the front. This is what I thought about the pressures.
He's gonna try and go for it. It does look like he's breaking so much later. Oh, he's gonna send it.
Yeah, he sent it. Oh, a little bit touch, but he can do it. But now he maybe tried from the outside, and it's like wheel by wheel. We will see who will be better exit, but on the inner side will be Chris, and probably he did it with a really nice move. It looks really interesting. Now we can see how fast he is, and if he's enough this corner. Look at this. He is going to the front of the Mercedes like nothing. This is how we like it, this fight. And I did a mistake and he lost it. Now they are going much closer. And now Green Greenwood. Greenwood lost the position, and as they overtook him, and they are fighting for a P4 with a Bentley. What happened to Greenwood?
Oh, and SD12's gonna really send it. Oh,
Yeah, he really tried to. Oh no, and he.
Greenwood just goes by. He's gonna wait up for him. Try to let him by.
For the tires, because they are going to change it, and you can see he's making every rubber and dust because he's trying to defend, but he will now losing the grip because he was on that better line with the full of the small things on the ground from the tires, you know, and he will be struggling. Now it's Zenalo behind you, and he did mistake again, and he hit the wall. Oh no, that's really bad. But still he can't overtake him, and it's really interesting.
Trying to get a run on Sergey here. Sergey's gonna drag him all the way to the wall.
Oh, he's really fighting too much defending.
Into the wall.
But what they did to MeltedDazzer after that big mistake, he's still in front of the Sergey, and it looks like Cam is much quicker right now with his destroyed tires, because he can probably manage it better, or his setup is better for the tires, so he can now get the advantage, but it's not the white flag here, so probably something happened to someone. And he's trying to do it from the outside. Oh, and he's now on the inside, and he can do it probably. I hope no touch here. And he did it much quicker in the corners, I think so. But
he's gonna have to run straight away. Greenwood didn't bring him down to the white line to the wall. He's gonna go down the inside on him.
Wow, it's beautiful. Yes, right side in front. Oh, and it looks like now SD12 it's overtaking Cam, and they are fighting really close right now. And he's defending.
He's gonna go around the outside.
Yes. Nobody crashed.
Oh, we do have a little bit of an incident. Turn 1 with Emo Guy and Marty Road Racing.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, this is it's a big spin. Yeah, it was spin too much. Okay, but at the front, how it looks right now.
The results are all coming in right now.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Ratchet crashed. And who is at the start? I don't know who is at the front, because it's
that would be Tom.
Yeah,
he's
Tom.
the leader right now.
Yeah, because it's so short. Ratchet, it's ridiculous. Okay, now it's Tom at the first place, Leon behind, Squid behind, and then Bentley guy to the end.
Oh, Cam dropping back a lot.
Yeah. Sure. Zainalo now over to Cam. Crashed with his teammate, okay. And he is struggling and spinning too much right now. And Emo guy is at the end of the track right now. It looks like really close fight, and Cam is trying to get from outside the front of, but he was quite a little. And we will see who will be faster at the end of the corner at the exit. But it's really hard to overtake there. It looks like the other guy. Oh no, he did a mistake and he spun and May.
Marty got to capitalize.
It looks like it will be really close, and he's trying to get, but he will get probably many flat spot, and his tires will be destroyed. Marty is really struggling. Oh no, F1 is out of the track, and now they are going to the front. This is what I thought about the pressures.
He's gonna try and go for it. It does look like he's breaking so much later. Oh, he's gonna send it.
Yeah, he sent it. Oh, a little bit touch, but he can do it. But now he maybe tried from the outside, and it's like wheel by wheel. We will see who will be better exit, but on the inner side will be Chris, and probably he did it with a really nice move. It looks really interesting. Now we can see how fast he is, and if it's enough in this corner. Look at this, he is going to the front of the Mercedes like nothing. This is how you like it, this fight. Emma did a mistake and he lost it. Now they are going much closer. And now Greenwood lost the position, and as they overtook him and they are fighting for a P4 with a Bentley. What happened to Greenwood?
Oh, and SG12 is gonna really send it. Oh,
yeah, he really tried. Oh no, and he
Greenwood just goes by. He's gonna wait up for him. Try to let him
for the tires, because they are going to change it, and you can see he's making every rubber and dust because he's trying to defend, but he will now losing the grip because he was on the better line with the full of the small things on the ground from the tires, you know, and he will be struggling. Now it's Enelo behind you, and he did mistake again, and he hit the wall. Oh no, that's really bad. But still he can't overtake him again. It's really interesting.
Trying to get a run on Sergey here. Sergey's gonna drag him all the way to the wall.
Oh, he's really fighting too much, defending.
Into the wall.
But what they
just past the Rouge. Actually, I'm pretty sure I was after Radion.
I agree. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Cool. Alright, let's go.
Just past the Rouge.
Stand there.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I was after Rouge.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the Tier 1 qualifying session for the GT3s here, the top level of the PlayStation 4 GT3 platform here on ACC. We've got Hasbaz in the session. He shouldn't be, he's not in Tier 1, so hopefully somebody lets him know that. But my name's Andy, and I'm joined in the commentary box by a new commentary partner for this one. I'm joined in the box by the Greek. Welcome along, mate.
Thank you for having me today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's good to be back in the commentary box for the Tier 1s for the ACC. Oh, as we see Greenwood losing it, coming through our Rouge and Radion, top of the hill, getting sideways. Wow. It's definitely pushing the limits early on in this session, but yeah, it's great to be back here for the Tier 1s. And yourself?
Oh, I agree. It's great to be back. I had to take a little bit of hiatus while I graduated from college and moved all my stuff back home. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. But it's good to be back announcing for you guys. Sadly, I will be down for another couple weeks before I get to race again with Motive.
Well, looking forward to having you back out on the track. Obviously, we heard you had a bit of a disaster in the lead up to this one. The wheel got involved in, well, tell us the story. What exactly happened with that one?
So I was traveling home to my home state of New York. I had a trailer with all my everything I had from my house where I was staying in Ohio. And, well, the trailer hitch broke, and it came disconnected while going down the road at 80 miles an hour. And it hit a concrete barrier and flipped over. And my wheel, my Thrustmaster T300, got crushed by my couch.
And there we go, just like that, thousands and thousands of dollars of sim gear gets completely and utterly destroyed in one hit. So
yeah, the sim rig, the stand I actually made, survived, but because I took my wheel off and put it in a box, it got crushed.
Oh
so,
no, that is
I was thinking maybe I should have just left it connected and everything and bolted up, and probably would have survived.
I can just imagine the pain of that whole situation as well. Just after that's happened, you kind of like tentatively opening the door, like, oh god, what's broken, what's damaged, and you just see it, and it's like, oh, for God's sake.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was gut wrenching to see a lot of stuff was broken. A couple stuff was still okay and all right, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
Oh well, yeah, every cloud has a silver lining, but unfortunately, it's sidelined you from the action a little bit. But good to see that your PlayStation survived the melee, and you are here with us for the qualifying session for the Tier 1s, and indeed for the race as well. We're looking at the top of the leaderboard here, the Greek, and Cordeo's got quite a gap at the top. He's absolutely flying here at the moment. He's pretty strong into the GT4s, and GT3s he's on it.
Yeah, he made a really solid lap out here, and I see a lot of guys struggling. Drew a couple corners here at Spa, especially going through a Rouge and Radeon, where we see earlier Greenwood losing it. So I'm not sure if these guys are trying to run a little bit lower downforce package to get a little more speed going down the straights. But Guido absolutely flying with a tremendously great lap.
Yeah, he's really on it at the moment. Greenwood's coming out of the last corner. Let's see if he can get a little bit closer to that top time. Not for now. He's just over a second off, but then it's a big gap back to SD12-Sergey. Mr. CJ running in 5th at the moment. Rompu, our contender in the Porsche Super Cup, currently sat in 6th at the moment in this session. We've got Ratchid running in 7th. Rakim sat in 8th at the moment. Leon Seeley still yet to do a lap. We know he's going to be up there or thereabouts with Quidel and Greenwood. Camdiz as well, always prominent. Maze Gamer still getting to grips with this ACC game. Raced with us on Project Cars 2 for a very long time now. So it's good to have him on ACC, trying to find his feet and getting quicker with every race. DDTKU and Hasbaz is not meant to be in this session. I don't know how he's got the password, but he should not be in here. And Hasbaz, if you're listening to the stream, please vacate the premises, please, because you're not supposed to be in Tier 1. But yeah, bit of an awkward one there. We digress. In the pits, actually, also those guys making some changes. Oh, Leon Seeley's on top. Look at that, 0.2 of a second ahead of Cordeo at the top of that leaderboard.
Looking at the time charts here, I see the Ferraris are dominating the top of the charts, where they're holding 1, 2, and 3 on the podium right now.
Yeah, they're looking really, really strong at the moment. Hasbaz is the only other Ferrari in the running, currently not on the chart. Oh, as we see Leon getting into the wall, coming up through Radeon, pins it into the barriers, and he's going to have some damage on the car. He brings it into the pits. He might get a chance to get out there and do another lap before this session concludes. Cordeo's coming through the middle sector of the lap now, coming up through Campus up towards Stavolo. Let's see if he can get himself back on that top spot ahead of Leon Seeley. These two have been trading fastest lap times here in this session over the course of this one. We've got Greenwood still out there at the moment, and Camdiz still yet to put in a lap. He usually leaves it until lastminute.com to put in a lap, so we're looking forward to seeing what he's got to offer here in this session. But Leon's out of the pits. He's going to get another lap in. Here comes Cordeo in towards Blanchimont. Let's see what he's got in the tank. 0.2 of a second he's got to find here on Leon Seeley.
Runs really wide.
Yeah, definitely not the line that you want to be taking through there. You definitely will get penalised if you do that too often. It could have been an invalid lap time. Hopefully it isn't, for the sake of our spectators. But here he comes out of the bus stop chicane. I think surely it would have been invalidated his lap time there though, as he comes over the line. Yep, not an improvement there for him. Camdiz goes up into 3rd place though. He's 0.8 off of Leon Seeley's fastest time for now. He's doing a good job here in that McLaren. one of the contenders in the Porsche Super Cup, always up there in the GT3s. Good to have CmekOnline being very, very strong here in this qualifying session. Greenwood still hasn't improved on his 219.9. So we're still waiting on him. Oh, sorry, mate.
Looking at the charts, actually, it looks like Cam123, he's splitting up the Ferraris and put it on third.
Yeah, it's
in
good
that
to see
McLaren.
Yeah, the McLaren's looking reasonably strong in qualifying. So it's looking strong in the races as well. Obviously, we saw Gunnar Gamble taking the Tier 2 win in McLaren, and we saw W was extremely quick in it as well. But unfortunately for him, he just made a few mistakes in the race. He had the pace, but just not the consistency, which cost him ultimately not just the win, but a podium spot as well. But yeah, CmekOnline looks like he's getting it up there, and for now we're just waiting to see what Greenwood can do. MazeGamer still hasn't put a lap in this session, so hopefully he gets that sorted out before we get to the end of this session. Currently we've got Leon Seeley sat on provisional pole position, though our race winner from last week at Zandvoort won the race by quite a convincing margin in the end, over 10 seconds by the end of the race, and he's continuing on in this vein of form. He's backed off a little bit though coming to the back end of this lap. Looks like he's going to go for one more flying lap after this one. Guideo's still going around in the middle sector at the moment. He'll get another lap after the one that he's currently on. CmekOnline is going to have to try and get around one of the other drivers here. I think that is a MazeGamer there, as CmekOnline is struggling to get past MazeGamer. This is going to cost him on this lap that he's on. He's going to have to back out and try and get some space, maybe go again if he can just let Maze just do his thing and drive off into the distance. But that would have definitely cost him on that lap. Frustrating moments there for CmekOnline, as Maze still yet to set a lap here in this session. He has done a lap, but it's only good enough for P11 at the moment, so a little way off. The fastest time at the moment is MazeGamer. Got some comments coming in on the YouTube stream right now. Big welcome to the thelazycamel. Also we got Eduardo saying it finished as it was, so yeah, thankfully that server reset at the end of the Tier 2 race prematurely didn't affect too much. Cosmic Mike in the comments. Hi guys, welcome along. Cosmic Mike raced in the Tier 2s a little bit earlier. Good to have him watching for the Tier 1s. We've got Christopher Fay, fun stuff for there, saying damn couch. The Greek, you better burn that couch for killing your will. That's brilliant.
Don't worry, that's already been taken care of. It's that couch has been cast to the Shadow Realm.
Shame on you, couch. But yeah, definitely. You know what you could have done? You could have sold that couch for another wheel.
Oh, you're not wrong. I didn't think about it. You know, the couch was already broke too, so it kind of self-destructed itself. So it's like, if I'm going down, I'm taking your wheel with you too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not going down on my own. But yeah, unfortunately, if you don't already know, the Greek's wheel did get destroyed by his couch over the course of last week in transit back on his way back home. So yeah, unfortunate there, but means that you're alongside us in the commentary box tonight. So it looks like the session's done, so everybody can complete the lap that they're currently on here. Closing stages of this Tier 1 qualifying session. Leon C looks like he's going to be on pole.
No, MazeGamer, he got it wrong. He was on a good lap and he lost it on his last lap here. As it brings back into the pits.
Was it what sort of times was he doing? Was it a solid lap or?
He was going to be about a 5th place right after Mr. CJ.
No. Gutting the stuff there for MazeGamer, but he can definitely make progress here in the race, that is for sure. His event is not over. You can bet that MazeGamer is going to be pretty strong in the race, as we see CmekOnline coming through Blanchimont now in towards the final couple of corners. What has he got up his sleeve? He's 8/10 off of the pole time. Can he get himself on the front row, maybe even on pole ahead of Leon Seeley? Here he comes, tidy in the first part of the bus stop, and it gets a nice exit as well out onto the start finish straight. CmekOnline up towards the line. What can he do? Can't improve, stays in 3rd, so that's going to be that then for the qualifying session. And we're about to go racing here for round 4 of the ACC GT3 League here at Motive Racing for the Tier 1s. 3 minutes left to go until the start of the formation lap.
So you don't got to exit out of the lobby anymore? Did ACC fix that finally?
Yeah, you don't have to jump out anymore, thank God. They changed the spectator mode, so now we can.
That's good.
Now we can sit here and wait for it to load up. We used to always have to go to an intermission, but in a way though, I mean it wasn't always that bad because we could put something up. We usually put just highlights up in between. It's now we just sort of stare at the back of the grid. In a way, it was better how it was.
Yeah, yeah.
But here we go, guys. We've got 13 drivers on the track. Hasbaz, for some reason, is racing in Tier 1. I do not know who gave him the password, but we're just hoping and praying that he doesn't influence the outcome of this race in any negative way. Still don't know how he got the password. He should not have access to that room, but he's managed to. So.
Maybe the drivers chat, the general chat on the Discord, could give us an answer.
Yeah, but password shouldn't be posted in general chat. They should just be in the password room. So, bit of a head scratcher there. But here we go, guys. We've got 1 minute left to go until the start of the Tier 1 race. We've got Leon Seeley, last week's race winner at Zandvoort, lining up on pole. Cordero, though, pretty close to him in the qualifying session. Cam's definitely going to give them a fight in this race. Greenwood not too far off as well. We know that the qualifying pace is often no real indicator of what to expect once we get into the race here at Spa, so definitely expect some fireworks. This is not done and dusted. It's definitely going to be a good battle between Leon, Cordero, Cam and Greenwood. Mr. CJ, SD12-Rompu, Sergey all pretty close in the mid-pack. If you're behind Sergey after the first couple of turns, you're pretty much going to have to be behind him for the whole race because he's the must-class of defensive driving here at Motive. So if you're behind Sergey at the start, you might as well kiss goodbye to your chances of making up any positions through the race, because he's the best defensive driver I've ever seen. You'll see it. Well, once you see it, you'll understand. He's unbelievable. RaKiMaJe running in the Lexus tonight. In fact, for this season, good to see. Interesting. Running in 10th. He's just behind Ratchet on the grid. You've got Maze in 11th. Definitely capable of going quicker than he did in the qualifying session. We'll see him making progress in this race. deedeeTKU rounding out the field and Hasbaz at the back. So here we go, formation lap just getting in progress right now. Drop a like on the video, guys, if you enjoy the content here on the Motive Racing channel. If you want to get involved, you're watching us for the first time, go to motiveracing.com to get involved in the on-track action and join us on the Discord server. Definitely come along, see what we're about. Subscribe if you haven't already, as it really does help us out an enormous amount. I also want to say a big shout out to the 9 people who've disliked this video. When I say 9 people, what I actually mean is the only G's 9 accounts, which he's probably gone on and just spammed the dislikes on. So big shout out to him. Hope he's having a great day. Hope he's enjoying himself and getting some satisfaction out of trying to just be hateful. So yeah, good to see. Also his cronies as well, playing games, doing silly stuff, whatever, you know, what are you trying to gain from it at the end of the day? But anyway, Leon Seeley currently leading on this formation lap right now. Cordero just behind him. We've got Cam Diz just behind them in 3rd. Greenwood will be lining up in 4th place for this one. It's always going to be a tricky race here at Spa. It's never easy. It's lots and lots of corners. The tyre degradation can be pretty high. You've got some very, very tricky corners like El Rouge and Radion, as well as the flat out Blanchimont in the back end of the track. It's definitely going to separate the best from the rest tonight, the Greek. But I've got to pop the $1 million question here, because this is the most important part of being a commentator at Motive Racing. You do have to make a prediction. It's actually in the contract that you have to make a prediction at the start of the race. So Greek, I want to ask you who you're going to put the curse on tonight for this Tier 1 race.
I got to put the curse on Greenwood. Even though he wasn't the quickest in qualifying, he still puts it on at I believe it's 4th. He's got good pace. So I believe I think he got the long run car. I think as the race transpires, you're going to see him kind of work his way through the pack. He might have a good pit strategy too. So I'm looking forward to great things from him in this race.
So you go for Greenwood. That's quite a bold choice, but he's definitely going to be quicker in the race, I think. For me, I'm going to put my curse on Leon Seeley, because he's very, very quick last week at Zandvoort. He's been solid throughout the course of this season, and he's looking pretty quick in this one. 2/10 is his gap to Cordero. Cordero's definitely going to be on it, but I think Leon's got to be the favourite for this win, as we see Mr. CJ really warming up his tyres in the background there. These guys coming into the final part of this lap here for the formation lap. Pretty slow formation lap, which takes a while around this track, because obviously the length of it means that you spend a long time going at very slow speed. As Cam getting very exuberant there in warming up those tyres. Greenwood just behind him. There's Mr. CJ Rompu there with SD12 Dash. Sergey there in 8th. Ratchet, Maze Gamer. RaKiM's dropped behind Maze Gamer on the formation lap. Not 100% what's happened there. deedeeTKU there running in 12th, and Hasbaz at the back of the field again. Don't know how he got into the server, but as long as he doesn't crash into anyone, I can kind of live with it. it's not worth getting too stressed about. But here we come in towards the final part of this formation lap. It's a very long formation lap here at Spa, but we are moments away, I promise, from the start of the Tier 1 race. As we can see, Cordeo really warming up his tyres, trying to get into the head of Leon. Leon's been very relaxed though, the Greek. I'm noticing this over the course of this formation lap. He hasn't really been doing any warm-ups or stop-starts. Nothing really at all.
Maybe all part of his strategy.
Yeah, it could be.
Kind of reminds me of Kimi Räikkönen, you know.
Ice cold.
Yep, it's ice cold. Just, no games or nothing, just
maybe
lead the formation lap.
Maybe if we'd seen Leon before the start of the race in his garage, he would have been sucking on an ice cream that he'd got from the little fridge, from the freezer in the garage, maybe. But Leon obviously keeping it calm, not getting too overcome by the occasion, as Cordeo actually gets ahead of him there, coming up this run down the start-finish straight. We don't go here, we go around the corner once we get out of La Source and out onto the run between La Source and El Rouge. That's where we're going to be going lights out here for the Tier 1s. Drop a like on the video, show your appreciation for these guys who are about to tackle the legendary Spa-Francorchamps. It's not the easiest of tracks to get right. 20 corners around this track, so plenty of room for error. They're going to have to be on it from lights to flag. It's a long time to keep your focus and stay on top of the game. But Leon on the right hand side of your screen, Cordeo on the left, Camdiz and Greenwood behind them will be looking to try and get the jump if they can. Cold tyres, El Rouge, always a recipe, but hopefully these guys, being the creme de la creme, the top drivers in the ACC GT3 scene, will be able to handle it. Here we go then, we are lights out and away we go. Camdiz already tucking in the slipstream behind these two, as Leon's going to go side by side with Cordeo, but Cordeo's got that move done up El Rouge and Radion up into the lead of the race. So Cordeo is in P1, getting that move ahead of Leon Seeley. Camdiz running in 3rd place. There's Greenwood. Mr. CJ still running in 5th just behind these, dropped off a little bit coming up the first couple of corners. Rompus, SD12 Dash and Sergey having to defend here from Ratchet. No, Ratchet's dropped off. Ratchet's spun out coming through El Rouge. It looks like he's dropped down to the back of the pack. Terrible start there for Ratchet, not at all what he would have been hoping for in this one. Leon leads the race. He's managed to get back ahead of Cordeo there, as they're side by side here coming through the corner after the cone, but he's actually lost out there as Cordeo, and Camdiz now looking to the outside. Oh, that was a late move to the inside there from Cordeo, covering off Camdiz as he tried to go up the inside and then just covered that one off. He had to try and go around the outside but couldn't do it. Greenwood tucking in behind these. Mr. CJ running in 5th place. SD12 Dash, Sergey's gained a position there. Rompu and Maze Gamer moving up also, with deedeeTKU in 10th. Hasbaz right up to 11th place. He shouldn't be on the grid tonight. I don't know why he's there, but he is. RaKiMaJe and Ratchet running in 12th and 13th places at the moment. But Leon Seeley looked like he'd lost the lead to Cordeo coming through El Rouge, but he's managed to get that position back down the Kemmel straight, so clearly he's got that Ferrari set up nicely for these straight line speed sections. But the Greek is looking very close at the front. No room for error right now. They're so tight between these drivers.
Yeah, these top three, they're really sticking to each other. Cam right over the back of Cordeo right now in that Ferrari, doing a great job just staying on him, staying in his draft, not let him lose sight of or drive away from him. But as Leon Seeley, he's extending the gap a little bit. He catches a little bit of the dirt there. And Greenwood just hanging on around there, kind of, I guess, waiting for one of them from a mistake, dropping away from that small pack right now.
Yeah, he is at the moment. He seems to have dropped these three a little bit. These three were obviously within 0.8 of a second of each other. Leon, Cordeo and Camdiz, as we see Cordeo getting really wide there out of the last turn, and Camdiz is going to have to run here coming down the start-finish straight. He's going to look to the outside. He's going to have to get it around the long way of La Source though, because Cordeo's going to cover that inside line. Here we come onto the brakes. He's going to be able to hold onto the position there. It looks like Cordeo's going to try and hang it out on the inside there, but Camdiz is still there.
Ooh, little bump.
Yeah, bit of a bump there as Cam rides over the curb, but he's going to have the inside here, and he's going to have the better run coming up towards El Rouge. I think Cam Diz has got that one done. Side by side, Quideo probably needs to back out of this one if he knows what's good for him, and he does. Tucks in behind him and lives to fight another day. Greenwood SD12- battling out behind Sergey. Has got a train of cars behind him. Grompu and Mr. CJ are the train. Maze Game has got ahead of DeedeeTKU. Rakim there running in 11th place. Hasbaz the reserve for tonight, and Ratchet is out of the race already by the looks of it. He's pulled off to the side, so gutting there for Ratchet. As Quideo is obviously with Camdiz up through Lacombe. He has to ride over the curb a little bit, try and stay out of the way. Camdiz holds on to that one for now after making that move coming up to El Rouge.
Watching Quideo, he's using a lot of the curbs, he's using all the track, every bit of that road that he can, trying to find a way back around Cam. But now that's opened the door, them guys fighting for Greenwood to make up some time and catch up to them now, but also allow Leon to extend his lead now to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, Leon's just making the most of this right now, just disappearing off into the distance. He knows that they're going to be giving it everything that they've got to battle each other, and he's just he's completely blitzing it right now as Quideo is looking to the outside of Cam, coming into campus, can't get it done. Greenwood has just still got SD12- behind him right now, but SD12- very much on the back of this train. Sergey has got Rompu hassling him coming up towards Stavilo. There's Mr. CJ just behind them. Maze Gamer and DeedeeTKU completing that top 10 right now.
Rompu got it all wrong there, and Sergey's gonna get around him, and Sergey goes really wide.
Yeah, it was Sergey getting out of shape and Rompu up into P6 there, so Sergey losing out of position. He's going to try and tuck into that slipstream here, coming out towards Blanchimont and try and get a run if he can. Bus stop chicane, always a good hot spot for overtaking. It's a very, very long braking zone. It's heavy, heavy brakes, so let's see if he can get it done. No, he's going to think better of that one. Live to fight another day as Rompu sort of half covers off the inside line. He didn't really need to though. He's got a big enough gap to him. There, Leon Cedo leads the race by 2.9 ahead of Cam Diz, and now Greenwood's got Quideo and SD12- behind him. Greenwood's got ahead of Quideo, and now Quideo's going to try and come back at him coming into the source. He's going to have the inside line, he's going to try and push him out wide if he can, but Quideo's lost out there to Greenwood, and now SD12- is going to try and punish Quideo as well. He's going to try and get that slipstream, but I think that slipstream off of Greenwood is going to be given to Quideo, but still SD12- is able to slip by up into 4th place. Quideo
Quideo
SD12-
he got into the back of Dash.
Oh, Dash has spun out. Yeah, it's so unfortunate there for him as he just made that move there. He managed to out-drag Quideo coming up towards El Rouge, but he loses the car coming through El Rouge. If you have just a little bit too much speed coming into that corner, it can completely upset the rear end of the car, and it's all down to your wheel rates coming through that corner. And unfortunately for him, he's just his back end has stepped out and he's in the pits. I think he's retired from the race. SD12- is out of this race. He's thrown in the towel very, very early on here. So unfortunate there.
I believe someone else has crashed after Radion or Rouge here. Didi looks like he spun it.
Yeah, DDTKU's way behind now. So it's definitely a bit of a hot spot for making mistakes coming through that part of the track, but these guys need to stick with it because there's still lots of points up for grabs with a depleted field of only 13 drivers. It means that every point is going to count here tonight. So there's no point in throwing in the towel. Just keep going and you're going to get some very, very good points here in this race. Sergey still on the back of Rompu right now, still keeping him on his toes. Rompu made that move on the previous lap, but Sergey not lying down in that battle. Currently Leon Cedo lead this race, just over 3 seconds he's got over Cam Diz, last week's race winner, continuing to pick up where he left off last time out. Greenwood only 1.7 seconds off of the back of Cam, with Quideo a second off of the back of Greenwood right now. These are gap Rompu's gapping Sergey a little bit. Mr. CJ not too far off the back of Sergey though, and Maze is bringing himself into this. Oh, as he gets really wide though coming out of that section of the track, but he's still not doing too bad of a job right now. Rakim racing tonight as a reserve for the GT3, he's running in 9th place. Hasbaz sat in 10th ahead of DeedeeTKU now, with DeedeeTKU's little skirmish at the beginning of this lap dropped him back down to 11th place. SD12- and Ratchet both out of this race in the early stages. Hopefully they get back out on track though, because there's still points at stake for these guys. The race starting to settle down a little bit now. Not a whole lot going on, but the gap between Leon Cedo and Cam's kind of staying at around the same. I noticed that in that last sector, Cam did actually gain a 10th on Leon Cedo, so He might be bringing that gap down just a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely quite even between these two. Greenwood's still running 1.7 seconds off of the back of Cam, so these drivers all quite evenly matched at this point. And Leon's got the lead, he's got track position. You want to be in Leon's position right now, but he's certainly not going to have this one easy. That's for sure. Cordeo's closing a little bit onto the back of Greenwood. He gained a bit of time coming through that first sector. You see 1.2 now separating Greenwood and Cordeo. Cordeo very much in striking distance there in the background. Rompu has got 1.2 seconds back to Sergey, so the gap kind of staying around the same between those two. Mr. CJ running 2 seconds off the back of Sergey. There's Maze Gamer still sat in 8th at the moment, and a long way clear of Rakim and Hasbaz, who seem to be struggling in this race. DeedeeTKU using the pits. SD12 dashes back out of the pits. Good to see. He's sticking with it and keeping going. I think Ratchid's called it a day though, because he hasn't moved for quite a while now. But Cordeo closing ever more onto the back of Greenwood here, and Greenwood I think is dropping off for Cam a little bit. Leon's continuing to keep Cam a little bit. Actually, no, look at this. Cam's gained here.
Could it be that Cam has a better setup and it's going to be a longer run here, and has Leon Seeley used up his tires too early, trying to drive away from everybody?
Very possibly, because I mean Cam was getting caught up in a few battles, wasn't he? He was having to fight Greenwood and Cordeo in the early couple of laps, and I think that may have just halted his progress and stopped him from really driving to his full potential. And now that he's got that clear air, he hasn't got to worry about what's around him. It's giving him that opportunity to really properly chase after Leon. Leon maybe he's taking it a little bit too easy. Being out in front, you do get complacent. He's just taken 3/10 back as Leon coming through that final sector, so he's definitely responding to the increasing pressure from Cam. Greenwood and Cordeo are still separated by 7/10 of a second over the line coming out of La Source, so this is definitely going to be an interesting battle. Still only 6 seconds covering the top 4, so it's still pretty tight at the moment. Rompu's gapped Sergey a little bit. He's got 2 seconds back to him. Sergey's also pulling away from Mr. CJ, and Mr. CJ I think is pulling away from Maze, so it's kind of going the way you'd expect it to from 5th to 8th places, but then from 1st to 4th it's pretty much staying around the same. So any mistakes from any of these top 4 drivers could really shake up the order, and I think that any of these 4 guys could win this race at this point. Oh, Cordeo runs over the curb a little bit. Oh no, he's in the wall. Cordeo has got major damage on the front of that car. Is that his race over there coming up through Radion? He's completely bended into the barriers, and I think that may be his chances of a race win done. Oh no,
that's Maze Gamer in the wall.
That was lag.
That's
Sorry,
Maze Gamer.
Sorry, it was Maze. I do apologise. I'm really sorry there. I don't know what I was watching there. But yeah, you're absolutely right there. I don't know what was going on.
I was watching Cordeo and I'm like, wait a minute, he's right on the back of Greenwood here.
I was clicked on Cordeo. I thought I was clicked on Cordeo there. I pressed on Cordeo, and then it just saw someone go into the wall. But clearly, it hasn't worked out. But it's good to see that Cordeo is still on the back of Greenwood. Anyway, wow.
Sorry, everybody in the stream. Anybody who was rooting for Cordeo.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry if anybody was was immediately drowning their sorrows after hearing that one, but Cordeo is still in the race. He's only 6 seconds off of the lead, so Cordeo, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. But
he's doing a good job here. He's on the back of Greenwood right now.
Yeah, Greenwood's dropping off the back of Cam, so Cordeo will be wanting to get ahead of Greenwood as soon as he possibly can, because the more time that he spends behind Greenwood, the more it's going to affect his chances of getting up onto the back of the leaders in this race. Still only 12 minutes into this 1 hour race for the tier 1s, but he's defending to the inside as Greenwood, as Cordeo is going to look to the outside, coming into the bus stop. He's going to have the inside for the second part. Yeah, really nicely done there, keeps it up the inside for the second apex, and he's got up into 3rd place there as Cordeo. Greenwood there gave him space.
That was a great pass. That was textbook right there, going into the bus shop, as Greenwood's going to try to do the same thing here, going into the hairpin in turn 1, or the last turn.
Cordeo's got too much entry speed, and there's no way around for Greenwood to come back at him. He's going to tuck into the slipstream though, and anything can happen. In fact, I'd say in this situation you're almost better off being the trailing car, but he has to get out of it a little bit there coming up to Eau Rouge, which will affect his momentum coming up through Radion. Here we come, and yeah, he's dropped off a little bit off of him coming through that part of the track, so he's a little bit too far back, I think, to send one coming into the Lacuma at the end of the Camel Straight. But really nicely done there from Cordeo. He set that up beautifully coming into the bus stop. She came around the outside, had the inside for the left-hander out onto the start-finish straight, and he's up into third place, into some clean air. Let's see if he can try and chase down Cam Diz in second place, who in turn is closed in a little bit on Leon, gained 3/10 on him on that last lap.
Cam, every little bit, every lap, he's just chipping away at Leon's lead. He's getting a little bit closer. So we'll see. We got still a lot of time left in this race. We got about 47 minutes. So anything can happen.
Anything can happen in motorsport, and it usually does. So definitely hold on to this one, because this one's not over. I think any one of these top three, maybe even Greenwood, if he's, you know, who knows what strategy he's on in this race, he could be saving those tyres, maybe waiting for a late charge towards the end. So it's really wide open between these front four. It looks like they've gapped Rompu a bit. Rompu's in turn is continuing to just gradually pull away a bit from Sergey. Mr. CJ has dropped off for these considerably. He's only got RaKiMaJe 10 seconds behind him, so RaKiMaJe might be sniffing a chance of 7th here in this one. SD12 Dash running in 9th place. Hasbaz the reserve sat in 10th place, and deedeeTKU is just coming out of the pits, so he will be continuing on. Still 11 cars in this race, and Leon Seeley, the race leader, 2.6 is his gap to Cam, so he's still doing well at the moment, is Leon Seeley, but Cam is doing a little bit better as he's gained 3/10 so far on this lap. Let's see what the times are coming out of this last corner. Leon usually takes a bit of time back in that final sector. He does seem to be quick in that Ferrari in that part of the track, and once again gains 4/10 coming through that final part of the lap. So Leon's on it in those final few corners. The bus stop chicane, he must be absolutely ragging that Ferrari through. But Quideo running in 3rd place. He's 4.3 behind the race leader Leon. Now he's got ahead of Greenwood. We might be able to see the full potential of Quideo though. Has he got what it takes to try and close in on Leon and Cam? Greenwood there dropping off of these just a little bit now in the number 18. Maybe, who knows, could be saving his tyres, waiting for a charge towards the end. He's still pulling away from Rompu, who sat in 5th, and pretty much staying as it is in the rest of the pack at the moment. Not really a whole lot going on in terms of battles, but Leon Seeley's gained another 3/10 of a second coming through that first sector alone, so he can see the gap coming down to Cam. And I think every time Cam starts to make some progress, starts nipping away and getting himself reasonably close, Leon just pulls something out of the bag, a bit like Lewis Hamilton really. As soon as he feels like, it just reminds me of a Hamilton lead, you know what I mean? It's like, as soon as he feels like somebody's closing on him, maybe he needs to pick it up, he just finds some pace out of nowhere. And Leon seems to have the measure of Cam just for now. How long that will stay that way, we'll have to wait and see. But he's doing a very, very solid job at the moment, is Leon Seeley, as Mr. CJ's bringing it into the pits. But pit window still hasn't opened yet, so it won't count as his mandatory pit stop.
I believe he's coming in to fix that damage. I saw him, he spun out a bit earlier in the race and hit the wall, so maybe he's coming in to repair that damage. It's affecting the car or broke his suspension.
Yeah, it could very well be, but he's coming into the box now, so we'll see what sort of pit stop he gets, see whether or not it's some major damage on that car. Hopefully it isn't, and he can keep going as he was. We got Mr. Peter Nilsson in the comments saying he's rooting for Greenwood in this one. Greenwood currently sat in 4th at the moment. Nilsson doing a solid job here. Nilsson, regular racer in our GT4s on a Wednesday night. Good to have him in the comments section. Leon still leading this race right now, coming out of the bus stop. 2.9 is his gap to Cam, so it's kind of just fluctuating between these two. It's going back and forth, but at the moment Leon's got track position and has got a reasonable buffer here. Only going to 10th.
Looking at the...
Oh, sorry, mate, go on.
Yeah, looking at the times here and the splits between each sector, it looks like Leon Seeley has a lot more speed going down like the Camo straight and whatnot, and Cam is just a little bit quicker in cornering. So it's kind of a back and forth at the moment. Yeah, the McLaren's got some very, very quick cornering speed, but then like the Ferrari just it's incredibly quick in the higher speed sections. So yeah, down the Camel Straight especially, but also coming up towards the bus stop chicane as well, coming from Blanchimont, you're definitely going to be getting the best out of that Ferrari. So yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off at the moment, but the thing that I'll be worried about if I was Cam is that if you're able to catch up to Leon, if you're able to actually outpace him over the course of a lap and bring that gap down, where are you going to get that move done? Because the Ferrari is so quick in a straight line, it's going to be very hard for that McLaren to make that move if he gets within striking distance. He might have to do this on strategy. Something to think about right now early before he comes in to make his scheduled pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. I would imagine that Cam's best opportunity in this race would be the undercut, but we're going to have to wait and see as Rompu's coming into the pits, presumably to fix some damage because the pit window's still not open, so he will have to come in again after this one. But really the main battle out on track right now is the battle for the lead. Leon and Cam still separated by 3 seconds, and Cam keeping him on his toes. I'm just noticing here Cordeo is gaining on both of them though. He's now within 4 seconds of Cam, and he's within 7 seconds of Leon. So Cordeo is currently the fastest man out on track. Now he's not fighting Greenwood, we're really seeing the best of him. So I reckon this is anyone's race from the top 3, but Cam's taking a massive chunk out of Leon coming to that middle sector. Look at that, 7/10. Leon must have made a mistake.
Wow.
Must have made a bit of a mistake there. Leon Seeley could be hanging by a thread soon, because Cam Diz is definitely getting the work done here in this race. Currently 20 minutes into this one, almost 20 minutes in. Pit window opens in about 6 minutes time. Once we get to minute 25, pit window will be open for 10 minutes. As we see Cam Diz just tagging the grass a little bit. Oh no, he's lost it! He's spun round! Oh
no!
No. He gets it going again. I was just hoping there that he might be able to bring himself into that fight, but now Cordeo is up into second place. I hope these two don't fight each other too hard, because I want to see a fight for this win here. But Leon Seeley is going to be breathing a sigh of relief. He's going to be absolutely delighted to see that, because now he's got his 2 contenders for the win very close to each other and probably battling, maybe slowing each other down. Leon Seeley looking very, very good here at Spa this afternoon.
Leon can most likely right now click on cruise control and start saving some fuel to so it can have a little bit shorter pit stop.
Yeah, for sure. He's got to make sure that he can be in and out and make sure that he comes out ahead of these two. But the pit stops are so unpredictable on ACC. Anything can happen in terms of the amount of time that you're stuck in the box. Also, if you put fresh tyres on, it'll cost you an extra 5 seconds. So I wonder if either of these two are going to try and roll the dice and see if they can maybe pull up a blinder with that one. Try and go the whole race on one set of tyres and get the jump, get track position, and try and cling on for dear life. But Cordeo up into second place with Cam Diz's mistake coming through the bus stop. He's lost him about 4 seconds all told, and Leon Seeley's now got a 7-second lead and a comfortable margin at the front. Greenwood still running in 4th place, dropping off of the leaders a little bit now, 12 seconds off of the leader Leon Seeley. Still going around though, still doing a good job, and will get some good points here for a position he's currently in. Rompu's been into the pits for an unscheduled stop. He's now down in 7th place. Sergey's still running in P5, doing an ever consistent job there in that number 16 Lamborghini. But right now, Leon Seeley clearing away out front. Cordeo's closing the gap though. He's now within 6 seconds of Leon, so Cordeo really closing there, coming through that middle sector. He seems to be on it coming through that section of the track. Not where you'd expect the Ferrari to be strong, but then again Leon's in the Ferrari, so maybe that's why. But Cam, not really making the gains on Cordeo. I would have thought he'd be gaining coming through that part of the track. You'd expect McLaren to be a lot quicker.
Could it be that he could have flat spotted the tires when he locked it up and spun it there at the bus stop, and now he's trying to clean off his tires and look for some better grip again?
Yeah, you raise a good point there. That could be it. Maybe he's just waiting for that pit window to open so then he can put a fresh set of boots on and try and keep those tidy. But Greenwood there running in 4th place. He's now 6.5 seconds off of the back of these two, who are still very, very close for second. Leon took 3/10 back off of Cordeo coming through that final sector. Again, ever quick in that final sector is Leon Seeley, but Cordeo, as a general trend, is closing in on the race leader. Hopefully he keeps this together though, coming through the section of the track where I thought he'd binned it a few laps ago. He hadn't actually. That was just me not watching the wrong driver. That was Mays that made the mistake a few laps ago that I thought was Cordeo, but he's still running in second place. Took another 10th out of Leon coming through that first sector. We'll see what he does in the middle sector. It was the middle sector last lap where Cordeo gained almost a second on Leon, so we'll have to see how that pans out on this particular run around. Cordeo's now got 8/10 back to Cam, sat in 3rd place. Leon Seeley, the winner last week at Zandvoort, looking very good to take back-to-back wins here at Motive Racing for the GT3 Tier 1.
Looking at the timing board here, it actually looks like Cordeo's slowly taking time out of Leon Seeley's lead. It was at 7 seconds a little bit earlier. It's now down to 6.3 seconds. And I believe Cam is just kind of following behind Cordero at the moment instead of fighting him, seeing if they can chase down Leon Seeley to have a better chance at a win for at least both of them.
Yeah, you'd think so, but yeah, at the moment it's just kind of staying at around the same. Hold on.
As we wait for it to update. No, it's staying about consistent right there, 6.3 at the moment.
Yeah, it didn't cade as much on that lap as we saw on the previous lap, but I think Leon may have made a mistake. He keeps making little small mistakes coming through that middle sector. I noticed the gaps are coming down in chunks in that part of the lap, and Leon's been really solid for this race so far. He's been keeping it very, very tidy. He's been obviously getting the pace down. He's been putting out the gap for the most part, but then little mistakes, he's been bringing it down by maybe a second at a time. Little mistakes though, I hasten to add, because he's not really had any big errors. He hasn't put it in the wall. These two both had slightly bigger skirmishes which have dropped him off of him by quite a bit, and they're now running within 0.6 of a second of each other. Camdiz, with that mistake coming out of the bus stop chicane, dropped him back into third place, but still not too far off the race leader. Cordeo though lost a bit of time to Leon on that lap, lost 0.3 altogether. These two continue to pull out the gap to Greenwood. Sergey running in 5th place, just coming over the line to start his 11th lap of the race, and he's 17 seconds behind Greenwood, but still sticking with it at the moment is Sergey. He's been having a few races like this as Sergey, where he just is driving in no man's land. He's not really in any battles or anything. He always seems to be stuck in like limbo in these races. From what I've noticed, he must be I'm sure hoping that our grids are going to be a little bit more filled out in the next few races, but obviously we've got about 30 drivers actually on the books in the GT3 league, but we had 13 starters for tier 1, we had 11 for tier 2, so 24 drivers altogether driving tonight, turning up for the races. So obviously that's too much for one tier, but it means that each tier is a little bit more depleted than what we would ideally like. So that's really the reason why we've only got 12 drivers, as Killian points out in the comments there. That's the reason why. Killian, the reason why we didn't let you race tonight is because you've just been leaving the Discord server and then constantly. Like, we want somebody who's committed to racing, not somebody who leaves it 2 or 3 times a week. That's the reason why, if I'm honest. Cordeo's still leading this race right now. 6.1 is his gap over Cordeo. Leon Seeley still in the race ahead of Cordeo. He's pulled out a bit of a gap to Cam though on this lap. Cam's dropping off the back of Cordeo ever so slightly. Looks like there's about a second between those two at the moment. Pit windows open at the end of this lap. Does Leon pull the trigger and come in? Nope.
He stays out.
Yep. Let's see if anybody else decides to come in. Cordeo stays out. Camdiz stays out. What about Greenwood? Does he pull the trigger at the earliest possible opportunity? Nope.
He says no. Everybody deciding to go for another. Everybody deciding to go for another lap.
Yeah, it looks like obviously plenty of time to do the pit stop. There's no need to be rushing in and making it as soon as it opens. There's still 10 minutes, so it's a long lap round this far track though. You can easily get caught out. In fact, we saw Chris Pistick last week in the Zandvoort race getting caught out around there, coming in about 10-15 seconds after the pit lane actually closed, so he got very unfortunate there. As we see Sergey coming in to make his pit stop, here he comes up towards, well, his pit box is on the other end of the pit lane actually, so it's a long pit lane here at Spa. You lose a lot of time. You certainly don't want to be making any more pit stops than you have to, as we got Rostors in the comments saying, I'm rooting for Hazmat. Come on lad. Rosters, I've got to break it to you that Haz is not supposed to be in this race. I do not know how he managed to get the password for this race. Hopefully he wasn't the responsible one for any of the incidents that happened at the start. I do dearly hope that he wasn't involved in any of them, but yeah, I don't know who gave him the password, but he got into this race as a reserve, so bit of an intriguing one there. But yeah, currently sat in P10 at the moment. He's made his pit stop, he's got that done and out of the way. But Leon's still leading this race by 6 seconds, and Cordeo has pulled a bit of a gap to Cam over the course of the last lap or so. Now 1.2 separating the two drivers in second and third, but Cordeo closing a little bit on Leon over the course of the last couple of laps. Got the gap now. Oh, look at that!
Ooh, bigger. Did Leon make a mistake?
Leon, I think, has done the same thing he's done a couple of times in this race. He's making small mistakes through that middle sector, and he's not losing chunks of time, but he's losing a little bit through that sector. Every sort of few laps or so, he seems to be making small mistakes. So Cordeo's got the gap down to net 5.4. Cordeo's continuing to pull out the gap to Cam. Maybe it's a case of Cordeo just picking up the pace a bit and really getting it down, because he's actually 2 seconds clear of Cam now as Cordeo. So maybe it's just a case of his pace is really, really strong, and maybe Leon isn't making mistakes, but Cam is coming into the pits to make his pit stop here at the end of lap 11. Got a few comments coming in. Unknown says, I'm on the driver list on Hasbaz.
Is he now?
I thought he was in the tier 2s. That's what I believe. Yeah, maybe not.
Reassuring us as he's making his scheduled pit stop.
Yep, so hopefully that is supposed to be. I'm sure he was in the tier 2s.
No, he is. He's scheduled as a tier 1 driver.
I am so sorry, Hasbaz. I am so sorry. I don't know why, but he was racing in tier 2 as well, wasn't he, I think? That's why it confused me, because he was on the grid for tier 2, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm really not sure. But apologies for that, Hasbaz. That's my mistake there.
Maybe he was filling in for someone in the tier 2. I'm not sure how many drivers were in tier 2 today for ACC.
We had 10 drivers out on track for tier 2.
Could have been filling in for someone.
Possibly.
Maybe he was filling in for me, you know.
That's true, yeah. Maybe. Was he? We also got J-Pom in the comments here saying, hey guys, obviously J-Pom, former league coordinator here on ACC at Motive Racing. One of the big reasons why we managed to really take off here on ACC. A big shout out to him. Good to have him in the comments, seeing how we're getting along. So thank you, J-Pom. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting on nicely with your current ventures that you've moved on to, and always a pleasure. Always welcome on our streams. Always welcome back at Motive Racing as well. If you want to race with us, you're more than welcome back to join us.
Looking at the comment section, RaKiMaJe, as his son comes into the chat and is saying he can't add fuel to his car and he's asking for help. Interesting problem.
Do you know what? I never realised that Gelram is RaKiM's son. I had no idea.
Or maybe he's friends with him. It could be my mistake.
Wow.
Nope, that's my dad. No, yeah, he says it's his son. Oh.
RaKiM is Gelram's dad. I never realised that. Gelram races in the F1 league, and I never knew that they were father and son. That's amazing. Wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, so he says,
I know the pit strategies are preset, or you make them before the race starts, and you can have different setups for pit strategies.
You have to do the tab. If you've got like a selection on the wheel, you have to assign the button though, don't you, in order to be able to do that? You have to assign the button on the wheel, and then you can flick through the menus and select how much fuel, select if you want tyres to change. But if you don't pre-select that button beforehand, then it doesn't let you do anything. So it could be...
You might want to exit the pits, make a second lap to come around and go through the settings on your wheel and select the pit strategy that can add fuel.
Yeah, maybe that's a shout. But yeah, unfortunately for RaKiMaJe, obviously still stuck in the pits, still hasn't moved, so hopefully he gets that one sorted. Quideo is in the pits, so let's see if he can try and get the undercut here on Leon Seeley. He'd have to get some scorches in. I haven't really been paying attention actually to that gap, because we've been reading the comments over the last couple of laps. I wasn't sure if Quideo has been bringing that gap down, as we see RaKiM's picked up a stop-go penalty for what I assume is speeding in the pit lane. That's usually the infringement that warrants a 30-second penalty.
That's a shame right there, because he was hanging out pretty good.
How is it 8 o'clock already? Touring cars is starting at 8:15. Not going to be there for the start.
Yeah, that was the same problem because I was scheduled for TC Tier 2, and I had to drop out of the championship so I can commentate because there was the overlap.
Oh, we run it on the same server, so whatever whatever we run up to on Tier 2, we run it in the same server. So if Tier 2 overruns, then Tier 1 starts late. But we got Rakim in the comments saying still can't add fuel. Oh, rest in peace, RaKiMaJe.
Oh no, that's terrible to hear.
Poor Rakim. I think it's going to be that's his race pretty much. That's a nail in his race. As we see Leon coming through the second part of the pits. Where's Credeo and Camdiz though? Credeo came out 4 seconds clear of Camdiz, so he's got the jump by some considerable margin there on him. Credeo's still out there right now, still trying to get something done here with Leon Seeley if he possibly can. Leon still hasn't come into the box, but
he's coming in now.
Yeah, he's coming in towards his pit box. Here he comes. So
along with Greenwood
as well. Yeah, so Leon Seeley's going to hope that he can get a good solid pit stop here and emerge with the lead, which he's held pretty much since the get-go here in this one. Put it on pole position by 2/10 ahead of Credeo. Briefly got overtaken by Credeo at the start, got the lead back coming through turn 6 and 7, and has ultimately held on to the lead since then. He pulled out a bit of a gap. Credeo and Camdiz making small mistakes, dropping them down the order a little bit, but since then he's done a very, very good job of just maintaining that gap, and Credeo was gaining a little bit on him before the pit stop phases. Let's see if Credeo's hard work has paid off here throughout this pit window. Is Leon Seeley going to change the tyres? Is that going to just extend his pit stop time a little bit? Rakim says he will drive
Leon
to the
Seeley
end
is
and
out.
the rest race. A true fighter. Yep, Leon's out. Here we go. So Credeo's coming up out of the source. Leon's really gained a lot of time here through the pit stop phase. He's come out miles ahead. So he's done absolute bits here.
Yeah, let's see what the split will be. Waiting for the timing sheets to update. As
The pit window is closing down.
11 seconds. So Credeo is 11 seconds, almost 12 seconds now behind Leon. So Leon got a pretty good stop.
Yeah, he's done a really, really good stop there. I wonder if he's not changed tyres though. Maybe Credeo's put a fresh set of boots on, whereas Leon hasn't. So I don't know whether Credeo's going to have the pace over him, but Credeo's got 3 seconds back to Camdiz right now, and he's actually been, I think, reeled in a little bit by Camdiz over the course of the last couple of laps. So Cam's starting to bring that gap down between himself and Credeo. He's got 11 seconds back to Greenwood, but Leon has really pulled out a blinder throughout the course of this pit window. He's flying out there. He's got almost 12 seconds over Credeo, and he's pretty much got this race under his wing, as long as he keeps this clean in the final part of this one. Round 4 of the season for the Tier 1 GT3s here on ACC at Motive Racing. Leon looks like it's going to be back-to-back wins for him, but still a long way to go.
He knocked off a full second off Leon Seeley's lead.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe Leon is running on the same tyres though. Maybe Credeo has put fresh tyres on. He seems to be a lot quicker, but Leon presumably, I think, made a mistake. It's not just going to be down to tyres. He's obviously made a mistake as well. 1.6 seconds in a sector. You're looking at probably a mistake. But Leon's still out in front, still got a 10-second gap here over Credeo. Let's see what the times are coming through this final sector. It was definitely a mistake from Leon, because the gap between Credeo and Cam stayed the same, and in fact Leon's responded there in the last sector by 2/10.
So yeah, it's Leon Seeley just making those little mistakes again, where, you know, he's got a big enough lead, he's got that big enough cushion where he'll be safe, but, you know, if he keeps making mistakes like that, it's going to let Credeo to reel him in.
It's funny because he's been extremely quick, you know, and but it's just moments at a time. The gap is coming down by a second or two, so he's clearly pushing the limits, but he's doing it really well at the moment, and it's working out. But for how much longer is he going to be able to push those limits and essentially get away with it? You know, it's But at the moment, he's doing a really great job at this Leon Seeley. 11 seconds now, so he's pulled out a bit coming through that first sector to Credeo once again, and Cam is now continuing to close the gap to Credeo. 14 seconds covers the top 3, and Cam is currently closing in a little bit on Credeo as well. We've got Greenwood still sat in 4th place, quite a bit behind these top 3 now, 12 seconds off of the back of Cam. Sergey still running around in 5th, Rompu 6th, Mrs. Hite 7th, SD12 dashes in 8th after the pit stop phases. Rakim sat in the pits serving that stop go penalty, and we've heard he's going to try and get this car to the end on a limited fuel tank as well. So his son Joram there letting us know that he's going to try and brave this one out. Hasbaz still going around in P10 at the moment. deedeeTKU I think is retired from the race because he's sat in the pits and has been there for a while.
Rake, I'm reading the comment section, says he can change tire pressure, but he can't add fuel. He served his, or at least I thought he served his penalty, unless he received another stop-go penalty.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. I never had that. I mean, I had the thing where you get disqualified if you don't put fuel in the car, but I've never had anything like that.
Well, the pit wall is closed, so he hasn't been disqualified just yet, so...
Well, I think you get the penalty at the end.
Ah, that must be it then. As looking in the chat again, as Jerome enters the chat as his main account now.
Yeah, that's the son of Rakim there. Joram says no, he will continue. He clutched the. Whoa.
He clutched the tactics.
Are you still in the server?
I have lost connection. Has the are you still in the race?
The server's gone down, I think.
No, again? I guess ACC has imploded on itself once more.
Oh no.
Got disconnected. No, the whole server, oh no, that's the.
What do we do? I mean, everyone had pitted, so.
It was what was it, 23 minutes left in that
It was 20, just under 21. So we got 65% of the way in. It's going to be a difficult decision actually. It's reset to practice. That means somebody's reset the server.
Do we make it a 20 minute dash to the end? Or I guess that'd be a question up to the drivers. They did it to me the first night. I was commentary for the race at Monza, the round 1, but it just decided to boot me and kill the stream.
That's really weird, because it's reset to practice.
Very interesting. ACC, if you're listening, we got some problem with your servers. Could you please take a look into that?
Yeah, that's not ideal at all. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Not 100% sure what to do. Yeah.
Let's jump into the Discord, see if anybody's in the chat and what's going on.
Yeah,
see how the drivers.
Sure.
See how the drivers are taking to it.
Well,
Interesting problem.
Yeah, it's apologise for those of you just joining us here on the stream. If you've been watching it throughout, the server's just disconnected on us in the final 20 minutes of the race, so we're not sure what the best decision would be. We might be just awarding the race as it was, as it finished. 65% of the race completed, so I don't know if we'll be awarding half points or full points, but possibly we might call it at that. Would be a bit unfair on the leaders if we restarted the race and did a full race.
Yeah, cars would be driving a little bit different, and especially Leon Seeley with that really big lead he had.
Yeah, maybe some half points. I think,
yeah, since probably some half points. They already completed 65%. I believe the rules for IMSA is if 55% of the race is completed and then goes to red flag, I believe they call the race. I might be wrong on that info though.
I'll suggest half points to Sergey. Yeah. Alright guys, we've announced that one, so it's half points being awarded for this race. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry that cut out towards the end. Unfortunately, didn't manage to get to the end. We are going to award half points to all the drivers, so whatever the classification was. So we're just going to read this out. So the final result for round 4 of the season: Leon Seeley takes the win, Gradeo second, Cam completes the podium, Greenwood in 4th, Sergey 5th, Rompu 6th, with Mr. CJ in 7th, SD12 Dash in 8th, Rakim, lucky for him, gets half points for 9th place, because it's didn't get to the point where that would have affected him. So 9th place for Rakim, 10th for Hasbaz, deedeeTKU doesn't get any points because he didn't complete enough of the race, but unfortunately that's our lot. We expected to have a little bit more action, but that's kind of curtailed that one. But thank you, the Greek, for joining me in the box tonight. It's been a pleasure commentating alongside you for the first time.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure to be back.
Great stuff. And thank you to all the guys in the comments section. Please guys, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. If we can get this video to 10 likes before we get off air, it would be absolutely massive for us. So drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, join us at MeltedRacing.com if you want to get involved in the action, and we will see you in the next one, hopefully for a full event. But if you're watching on ACC, make sure you join us on tomorrow night for the Porsche Super Cup, lining up at 7:30 PM BST. Also, after that, we'll have GT4s back on ACC on Wednesday night. So check out those, subscribe to the channel, like us on like the video, and yeah, peace.
Have a good night, everybody. This is interesting in the Discord server.